Hello, everyone. It's time for another edition of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. I've painstakingly curated material from... No, I can't say that. That's not true at all. I literally just grabbed a bunch of stuff from God knows when. Threw a couple sponsors in here and boom. It's something. I don't remember doing any of this. A lot of the stuff you're going to hear on this show and that you heard on yesterday's show and that you will hear on Monday's show is taken from about, I would say 4 months of podcasting. Well, like when I first started, the first 4 months. So you're looking at the start of 2019, somewhere around there, maybe like April of 2019. Anyway, so who knows what the hell I'm saying here? I mean, the world has been changing. I know this is before COVID. That's all I know. Anyway, check it out. I have a bunch of material here for you that I'd like you to listen to. It is Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast from the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. If you hear something that you like, didn't like, or anything at all you want to chat with me about, send it along on the Shoreliners Striping inbox. All right, here you go. All right, the Eric Zane Show podcast happens in the Back Alley Comedy Club studio each and every weekday. Thank you so much for being part of it. We are one day closer to the first-time home buyers event at Hilliard's Corner Lounge in Hopkins, Michigan, and I'm ready. Are you? It happens Thursday. I want to see you. Podcast starts at about 5:30, maybe a little earlier. Depends on when I get done eating, okay? And I'd love to see you. Come hang out with me. And then afterwards, Henry Steffes from the Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty will be hosting the first-time home buyers seminar. If you have not purchased a home ever and you don't know what the hell you're doing, you got questions, this is what it's all about. It's no obligation. He's not going to sell you anything. He just wants to talk to you. He might put your name down on a sheet and say, hey, I want to see who's here, and take roll. That happens Thursday in Hopkins, Michigan, the home of flannel, monster trucks. There are no vegetarians, and on and on. I want to see all those S-kickers in and around Hopkins, Wayland, all those places that I've probably made fun of at one time or another along the road. We will see you there Thursday at Hilliard's Corner Lounge. Here's the podcast.
Now, Gretchen Whitmer wants to have a 20-cent gas increase.
This is the Eric Zane Show podcast, powered by the Zaniacs. For the free podcast and merch, go to ericzaneshow.com.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Zaniacs. As always, your support is undaunted. Is that a word? Undaunting? Undaunted? It's really good. Anyway. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast. My goodness, the freebie is here. For those on Facebook who are enjoying this, thank you so much for being part of it. If you miss anything at all, please go to ericzaneshow.com and listen to the audio version for free at ericzaneshow.com. A number of things to get into today. I wrote them down like a trained professional, attempting to be one. First of all, you may notice if you're watching on Facebook, that was good. New chair day. New chair. I got a nice, luxurious floral print. I don't know how else to describe that thing. It's a pretty decent chair. This is a Facebook garage sale deal. Obviously, you can't hear it or see it on the audio version of this. But the thing is, I need to take a still picture of it and show it to you all. But my gosh. You can decking this thing out, this studio out, the Back Alley Comedy Club studio, in Facebook garage sale furniture is the way to go. $30 on that bad boy. Drove to beautiful Holland, Michigan, and some nice Dutch kid. You look like to be a young father. Unloaded that, and I said thank you. I saw Mrs. Dutch inside with the 2 kids. That $30 in that Dutch family will probably support them for the rest of the year because they save their money like crazy. Why is it okay to make fun of Dutch people saving their money, but it's not okay to make fun of Jewish people saving their money? To me, that's a virtue. Why would anybody get pissed off because you say that they save money? I'm like, yeah, please. I wish somebody would say that about me. You hear my voice crack there? Thanks to Stu, I can't even talk. That idiot Stu McAllister for coming in off the street from collecting bottles and cans. and hanging out with me today. I had a last-second cancellation on the Figursky-Kaiser train, so that went out the window. So I'm like, well, I got to get a guest in here. Good producer gets a guest. Put on my producer cap. Hang on. Which is the Red Wings hat. And McAllister, get in here. Bring some dots. And for the second time in my life, I had Dippin' Dots. And I don't know what I've been missing. I've been missing out on a lot with those because they're terrific. Did you know that you can't put those in your freezer? That's true. They're so damn cold, the freezer is not cold enough for Dippin' Dots. So when Stupid transports them from town to town, he has to put them like on dry ice, and then drive wherever, God knows where, like the gypsy that he is, to whoever is selling the Dippin' Dots. So anyway, it was good to get Stupid on here. He had a lot to say, including his thoughts on my Tennessee plaque, my wooden Tennessee plaque. If you missed this, you need to hear this, because especially if you're a Tennessee S-kicker, and a lot of you are. He made a comment about the plaque and that you got to hear. So make sure especially if you're a Tennessee listener, you need to go and check that out. Let's see. I got a suggestion to bring in Jim. Jim is at work, working hard. Jim killed it yesterday with Mickey Graham. I'm slowly dealing him in. I need his help tomorrow because tomorrow I have a guest. I had to move him in. He was supposed to be next week. Scott Winters. My Wednesday guest bailed. I told you it was someone from my past. I cannot reveal who it is right now. The Wednesday guest bailed. And so Scott Winters is tomorrow from Rick and Scott fame. By the way, I have not yet gotten to the major announcement that I wanted to tell you. You're going to love this, though. It's coming together so sweet. Holy crap. So Winters on Wednesday. Winters on Tuesday. I'm still open for Wednesday, but I'll try to get somebody in there. Really trying to make it a hard and fast rule. Interview, monologue, Patreon. That's it. That's the formula. All right. What the hell was I going to talk about? God, it was right there and it left me. It was in addition to the announcement. All right, I'll just get to the announcement. All right, Sunday is my dad's birthday. Now, I called him up and I said, Dad, I want to come see you for your birthday. I cannot see you for my birthday. Why? I have plans. I know what's up. Replacement family is always, I understand. I really do. There have been times when I have not understood, but I get it, man. Everybody's got to play nice. So he's got something going on with replacement family, whom I love, as they are my family. So then I'm like, well, I'll come see you Saturday. Now, oh, by the way, my brother I love him, and he's taken it worse than me. Whenever I joke about replacement family, he struggles with that. And I feel so bad for him because he was a lot older than I was when my dad and mom divorced. I was 8, which still sucks. Don't get me wrong. But when you're 12, approaching adolescence, yikes. So it still troubles him, and I feel very, very badly about that. So he was a little torqued about the whole thing. I go, come on, man, we're going to get through this. Well, he will. But then I got to thinking. I said, I want to go and hang out with replacement family. So I called up Charity Scam Mike, and I said, hey, man, is it okay if I invite us to your party for Dad? His birthday party. It's on St. Patrick's Day. They have corned beef, green beer, the whole deal. He's going to be 85 freaking years old. I go, man, we're coming. Do you mind? We're pretty tight. And he goes, oh, my God, what? No, yes, of course you can come. We sometimes do fall through the cracks, being that we live far away from them, So they're always kind of like, sometimes we don't even know what's going on. So I invited myself. They said, sure. Then I called them back. And I said, hey, man, would you mind if I brought my gear and we did Dear Meathead with him at your place. We can podcast. And he starts cackling like a hyena, dying at the idea. And he's like, oh my God, this will be spectacular. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm like, okay, that settles it. And I've decided that I'm going to do, this is going to be a completely free thing for you. Because, you know, and I get it, Patreon tier 2, I work very, very hard at putting content up there, and I'm proud of it. And I'm going to continue to work at that and give you as much as possible. But so many people love my dad. To see him on his 85th birthday, I know it would make a lot of people really, really happy. So that's how we're going to do that for his birthday on March 17th. Live Dear Meathead with Dad at Charity Scam Mike's house. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. I'll as the day goes on Sunday, I'll firm up the time with you and then post it to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I actually make posts to YouTube too. And off we go. While I'm there, if you feel so inclined to hire my dad for Cameo messages, he will do that for you. So that means I got to give him a cut or just give him all the money. But what I'm telling you is go to cameo.com, search Eric Zane, and fill it out, and my dad will talk to you. Somebody I saw online had that idea, and that is freaking brilliant. Damn it, you people come up with great ideas. I just remembered what I wanted to tell you about. I'm on cloud 9 right now because we just had our biggest Monday we've had on the free podcast. I'm able to look at the analytics of it, and it's, man, I'm telling you, it is just fantastic to have yet another Monday where not only am I very happy, but we had a great, great Monday, the best one we've had in the time that we've done this. So I really, really appreciate you listening. All right. I've got about 8 minutes before we can get this done. It's a story at a zoo in Arizona where some stupid woman decided that she wanted to get a better snapshot of the jaguars. You know, the giant cat that can swallow your head with one bite and cut your jugular vein with one swipe of its big paw. I want to get closer to the jag. So Dummy decides to climb the barrier and to get the picture. Well, while she's doing that, she is now vulnerable to an attack. And I don't know if she doesn't have any idea or what, but all of a sudden, while she's looking in the viewfinder or whatever to get the snapshot, another jaguar comes flying at her, and she doesn't even see it coming. It attacks her, blindsides her, and starts to kill her. Everybody flips out. Somehow they're able to distract the frickin' jaguar. She has the wounds to go with it, will live, and, I think we need to make a call. Not to her. I think she's in the hospital. No idea how this is going to go. Probably terrible. Someone says I felt bad for the jaguar. I did too.
Wildlife Zoo Aquarium.
Hi, how are you, ma'am? This is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast. How are things at the Wildlife Zoo and Aquarium?
It's going good. How are you?
Okay. Do you know where this is going?
No, if you're wanting to talk about the incident, I'm going to have to direct you to our media person, Christy.
Okay, but the lady's okay. That's all I care about, right?
Everyone's okay.
Okay, so the cat's okay? Because the cat probably got, like, some of her meat in his teeth.
The cat's okay, yeah.
Okay, now, is this normally a friendly kitty?
You said you're from what media?
This is the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Podcast?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to direct you to Christy to answer your question.
So it's the cat didn't eat her face off.
Sir, if you want to find more about everything and details, I'm going to have to lead you to Christy.
All right, Christy is fantastic. Yes, I am so sorry to bother you. You guys do a great job, and I just wanted to tell you that I'll be back this year.
All right, thank you. Sounds good.
Okay, thanks. See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, God. She hung in there really well. She did really well. I think part of my soul just died. All right, I want to tell you what happened to the suit store today. This is freaking terrible. Actually, I've been to this place several times, and if I need, if I need something tailored, I go ahead and have it done at this place. Or if I need to buy something, one thing I noticed when I walked in just the other day, the one guy, the old guy, is always like a stuffed shirt. He seems to always be pissed, and I don't care. I just want my ripped pants repaired. I want my suit tailored, whatever it may be. The most recent time, there's another dude there who I didn't recognize. Younger guy, douchebag. I got tremendous douche chills as I walked into there. I just could sense an attitude. But I kept it close to the vest, did not say a word. I did not step one toe out of line. That ended. I go back there to pick the gear up. I have a bright purple suit coat for the purple game. I have a bright red jacket for other hockey games. They're both for hockey. It's my costumes for the hockey games. I'm like a poverty Don Cherry. I go in there, and he brings me my gear. They're both nicely on hangers with the bags on them. And I said, I need to wear this one right now. Do you mind if I take the bag off? And he didn't say, no problem. He said, I guess, yeah, like that. And I'm like, you dick. For God's sake, are you serious? And way annoyed, but I didn't show it again. Did not show it. And I took the plastic off and tried on the jacket. I could sense the disgust from because of I'm wearing a bright purple jacket, for God's sake. And off I go. Days go by, 2 or 3 days. I wander over to that area again, and a friend of mine works near there. I say to my friend, I go, hey, what's the deal with your neighbor? And he goes, suit store? I go, yeah, suit store. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll tell you what the deal is. And he goes on to say some other things that I don't want to get into, which would probably reveal exactly who this is. If it hasn't already, some of you may have already been able to figure it out. Send me your guess, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Apparently, there's a parking lot issue with all these stores, and space is limited. Guy who owns the business that I'm talking to, and I said, what's the deal with suit guys? He goes, his employees parked a little bit too close to their business. Now, this is a lot for all of the businesses. There isn't anything designating parking here for so-and-so business only. If that were the case, I'd understand. Dude parks the car. Suit guy walks out and sees my guy and says, hey, will you please tell your dark-skinned employee, no lie, move his car or next time I'm going to key it. Now, I don't know anything about keying cars, but if you're going to go ahead and key somebody's car, it's probably not a good idea to announce that you're going to key the car, a-hole. And you know what? I go, was he, and I described dude who I thought was a douchebag to my pal. And he goes, that's the guy. He's the guy. And so, stop guessing. Stop guessing. Stop guessing. A-hole, stop guessing on the feed. My God, give me a frickin' break. Jesus, you're killing me, people. So, my buddy gets in dude's face. My buddy is big. And apparently, they're about to fight in the parking lot over this. And my buddy says he's going to park there every day from now on. And that's the end of it. Holy crap. I'm just going to take my suits there just to get him service, just so I can get some more action. Amazing. Earlier today, I obtained something for a piece of equipment that I needed to get for the Hilliard's Corner Lounge appearance on Thursday. And I'm really stoked about that. And the piece of equipment is a PA. So while I'm doing this podcast, it's one thing to be doing it. It's another thing to have, you got to have speakers to to interact with the folks who can hear the podcast. I'm going to be having people sitting down. If people are wanting to hang out with me, they can hear it. So I go to get the PA. Now, I know everything there is to know about this type of equipment. Famous last freaking words. I unpack this thing. In fact, while I'm doing this, looking at the camera, it's right behind it. I'm looking at it. And it's this gigantic speaker, an amplifier, microphones, plugs, and I plug it in the way I know how to plug it in. Nothing is working. Now, the one thing you may already know is that if you've ever held a microphone in your hand and you're speaking into it, and the sound coming out of it is anywhere near the microphone, it's going to cause feedback. Okay? If I take my headphones off right now and hold them up to the microphone that I'm talking in and turn it up, you'll hear it. And I don't want to put you through that. Just so you know, you've all heard that at one point. Now, like I said, I know what the hell I'm doing. And I'm trying to put this together. So I turn up like Marty frickin' McFly at the beginning of Back to the Future, the knobs on all the channels, the mains, and I'm trying to figure out the problem. Now, I haven't yet figured it out, but if I keep unplugging cords like a telephone operator, I'm going to eventually troubleshoot my way through it. I have forgotten that it is as loud as it can possibly be. And I finally found the magic formula of plug into the amp. As God is my witness, I was almost killed with sound. The mic was probably 3 inches from that thing. If Jimi Hendrix were alive today to hear that feedback, he'd say, damn, that's way too much, man. Holy crap. It burned into my ear and just melted my brain. It hurt. It actually caused me pain. I wasn't blown back by the sound, but I was in so much pain and discomfort that I'm laying there going, ah! Holy crap. Incredible. It still hurts now. I'm still ringing. I'm not entirely sure that I did not cause permanent damage to my ears. I figured it out, though. Remember when I said I know exactly what I'm doing? I don't. Hey, as we do this from the Back Alley Comedy Club studio, later on this week, Adam Deggy is going to join me, along with either Ricardo and Don, or just Ricardo. I'm not sure. But anyway, Deggy is awesome. Deggy is here because all these comedians, all these great local comedians, are participating in Laughsketball. That happened Sunday at the Deltaplex. They wanted me to do PA, but I got my dad's birthday party, so I can't do it. Anyway, that's going on. Deggy's here to talk about that, and that guy is freaking funny. I love Deggy, and I can't wait for to have him here on the podcast. One of the many amazing local comics. If I could get Ricardo and him and sit Don's narrow ass down on my new chair, that would probably smart Brent. That would probably be the best damn thing that there is. Holy crap. You guys are killing me in these comments. I've laughed out loud twice. Oh, God. Hey, Tommy Brand is a tremendous asset to this very podcast. Located at 4157 South Division, just north of 44th Street. Home of the famous sizzling sirloin steak. Get Michigan's original sizzle at Brand's. Now, I love all the brands. But I want you to go to Tommy's, because Tommy's paying the freight on this. They must have some type of family rivalry, no doubt. Lunch, steak, and bake. It's a $7.99 deal, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. You can't beat that anywhere. Nice hunk of steak and a baked potato. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. All brands, 6-ounce sizzler, steak, and bake. All right, where are we now? I think I know. All right, here we go. this story. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Here's what's happening. Everybody's going crazy online because there's a story in our great, sorry, that was a Kyle fade, in our great state of Michigan about an enormous crucifix found in Lake Michigan. Quit it. That's right. Images of this crucifix just about 800 feet off the shore right by Petoskey. If you've been to Michigan or you live in Michigan, you know exactly where Petoskey is. It's a great tourist destination. And so it's frozen. The only way to see it otherwise would be like if it were the summer, you could go swimming and maybe dive however deep it is in the water and see this crucifix. But now the conditions are right where there's a thick amount of ice and it's not moving, where everybody can go walk out 800 feet. There's a hole drilled in the ice. Hey, honey, you want your phone? Okay. Yeah, I talked to the lady from the zoo. She says hi. I'll slash it for you. Sorry. I'm talking about the zoo, or the ice, the crucifix in the ice. You don't have a bra on, do you? Okay, I was going to say, don't come out of you. It might be embarrassing. Okay. All right. I'm already getting a joke about the holy water. Yeah, that's what they're thinking. So they drill a hole in the ice, and people are going out there and looking at this thing. And I saw the pictures of it. It looks pretty cool, actually. The story behind why is this cross there? Why is there an 11-foot gigantic crucifix in the middle of Lake Michigan? And so apparently in 1954, there was a little boy in Bad Axe, Michigan, which is in the thumb. In fact, that's the hometown of Joe Volt from the Joe and the Poor Boys show. The kid croaked. So mom and dad, who must have had some cash, they hired like a sculptor to make this cross and had it imported from Italy. Well, as luck would have it, the stupid thing was busted. So mom and dad said, screw you, we're not paying for this. Our kid's dead as insult to injury. We got a busted Jesus. Go give it to Kevin Matthews so he can run around and with Broken Mary. That was terrible. It was awful. Sorry about that. Anyway, just in time for Len, Eric's making crucifix jokes. Anyway, so the kid's dead. Mom and dad are pissed because the Italians sent over a busted crucifix. And so they sold it to somebody near Grand Traverse Bay. Sure enough, somebody else croaks on Torch Lake, drowns. The people who have the cross at this point decide to honor the memory of the drowned victim to put the cross in the water off Petoskey. All right. And that would be to honor all people, I guess, on Michigan water who have drowned. That sounds nice. So, man, I want to freaking see this thing now. Now it's like a destination, and that's all you need to do with me is dangle it in front of me, and that's something I want to see. So, now, knowing the luck of the land here, I'm just hoping that you don't have like 500 people on the ice who then become part of the memorial as it were. I hope they're very safe about that. Can you imagine if all of those people are there to see the cross to honor the dead and they become part of the landscape surrounding the cross? Let's hope not.
Because I'm fat, fat, fat. Show me really, really fat. You know I'm fat, fat, fat. You
all right.
Know it's really fat. You know
I don't know why that doesn't fade.
Because I'm
that should fade.
Because I'm fat, fat, fat. Show me really, really fat.
Well, I guess I got to do it manually. All right, I'll take care of that later. I love the stories about people who lose a ton of weight. To me, that's like the hardest thing going. If you're a person who has struggled with weight, and then you start to lose it, and then you keep it off, even if you don't keep it off or you get a little bit of it back, man, I'm always really impressed with that. But we're talking gigantic numbers here. I used to have a coworker Kim Carson. And I worked with Kim Carson at GRD. She was at 95.7. And, man, Kim was on the struggle bus. I remember she had a remote and had to go for the Festival of the Arts, where she had to be was 3 blocks from the radio station. And she called a cab. She could not move. She was morbidly, debilitatingly obese. It was going to kill her. Man, somehow she turned it around. If you get a picture, I mean, she's like all about it, too. If you were to ever track down Kim Carson, she'd be the type to help walk anybody through any type of weight loss, things like that, because she did it. And she has lived to tell the tale. And I always told her how proud of her I was, and that it's because you still got to eat. If you're a drunk like me, you don't drink anymore. That just reminded me that I got some Bush NA here to drink. Oh, God, have I needed this today. Oh. Tremendous slight beer flavor. You still have to eat. If you're a drunk, you don't drink. If you're a crackhead, you don't do crack. You don't need crack you can survive without it after you get off of it, is what I'm saying. But if you still have to eat, that is constantly burning at you to just sit down with a gallon of ice cream and go ape S. This dude, it's also a Michigan story. His name is Carlos Orozco. Look him up. CarlosOrosco. Okay, you've heard about guy who loses 150. You've heard about guy who's 400 and he wants to get down to 200. You've seen the people on The Biggest Loser. I don't think I've ever heard about a more dramatic loss and is killing it and keeping it off. Carlos was 650 pounds. He has hit his goal. He is 187. I reached out to Carlos. The goal is to get his skinny ass on this show. You thought Jared had a pants thing going around. This guy's pants are like 3 times the size of Jared's, and no child pedophilia involved, as far as I know. I don't think so. 38-year-old Carlos Orozco weighed 650 pounds. He was in poor health and facing an uncertain future. Doc said, yeah, you're going to die. He was motivated because he wanted to see his niece grow up and just had to make a radical change. Now, these surgeries, they make you lose like 100 before they'll do anything on you, because they want to see that you've modified your behavior. And I don't know because that's part of it, because once you get, it doesn't just get like a bariatric surgery or a band or whatever it may be. You have to then modify yourself because your tummy is smaller. You can't eat that way. And that's what he did, man. Dude gave himself a goal. He's 39 when this all starts. 42, which he's 42 now. Cut out all fast food, all fried foods, all breads, and alcohol. That sounds incredible. He lost 100. December 2016. He got the surgery in Saginaw. Weight went from 550 to 300. He said, after that, I really had to start working because, these people plateau. 2 months post-surgery, he was able to begin exercising. 5K race in 2017, 3.1 miles, took him an hour and a half. Today, he's completed about 31 races, including a half marathon, training for his first full marathon this fall. He works out at a place called Pure Energy, Pure-NRGY Fitness in Saginaw, several days a week. That's one of those like boot camp places. I hear they're fantastic. Holy crap. Actually, now he's 41. And when you look at him, Carlos Orozco, he doesn't look like he was ever fat. It's, occasionally people might have a skin issue or things like that.
And maybe he does, but he's wearing clothes and he looks just like a ripped dude to me. It's incredible. I was so impressed with this. And so I reached out. I go, hey, can you talk? Did not hear back. Called the gym. I go, look, can we get him on? They said they'll pass the information along. I'm like, oh, come on, Carlos. Don't leave me hanging, buddy. So we shall see. I'm hoping to God he's able to get back a hold of us because I would be so stoked to get that guy on the air. Okay, don't forget, Scott Winter's on the show. He joins me tomorrow. He steps in. I had another guest come in. I had a cancellation. That was a bummer. So that will be Scott Winters from the Rick and Scott Show. Looking forward to that. That will be on tomorrow's show on the interview portion of it. Work is still not done, though, today. For the Patreon folks, I'll be back in a little while. I'm just going to kind of reset here and then get after it with the Patreon bonus podcast for you. In it, we're going to talk. It's a local story. There is a person who works for one of the schools. I don't think she's a teacher, but she is in deep S over something she did, and it is a heinous charge that is being levied against her. She's pleading not guilty. I'm going to try to keep it on the up and up here. I don't have a ton of information, but if she's guilty, this woman is going straight to hell. I can tell you that. As always, you folks are fantastic. Thank you for our second biggest Monday ever. Did I say first biggest earlier? It's second biggest Monday on the Eric Zane Show free podcast. If you miss anything, ericzaneshow.com. That's where you get it all. Thank you.
Yeah, this is not the best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. There are things that are better than others, but it's, seriously, I don't have the manpower to catalog something that's great. Like if there's a joke that I actually happen to say a joke that's actually funny, which is very rare. I don't write it down and say, 3 minutes in on December 5th, I said a funny joke. Fuck it. I just throw the shit at the wall, and if you like it, great. Please support the show by subscribing to Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Also consider signing up for Patreon if you want more podcasting, patreon.com/Eric Zane. Facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page and Twitter @Eric Zane Show. I sound like Bill Simonson right now. Thank you to Van Dyke Mortgage. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, to be more precise. If you need a mortgage, call Mario, 231-332-6505. Number one for a reason. Voted number one by realtors and everyone else in the mortgage industry. 2 years running. 231-332-6505. Call from anywhere in the United States except South Carolina, Alaska, Hawaii, and Maine. People in Maine, keep your money. Go somewhere else. We don't need your Maine money. Thank you, Mario. When you need flooring installed in West Michigan, you call upon Jacob Bennett. Unbelievable level of experience in this man. Bennett Flooring Installation, 616-318-0167. Call. It's Jacob. He's going to come to your house, measure, boom. By the end of the day, you've got an estimate delivered to you. If you go full service, he'll do everything. Rip out the old stuff, junk removal, you name it, and then put the new stuff down. Or take care of half the heavy lifting yourself and do all that stuff yourself. That makes life easier and more inexpensive for you. 616-318-0167. Now, the flooring that I want you to install, I want you to get it from Johnson Carpet One Floor and Home. Pardon me. Johnson Carpet One Discount Outlet. There's two stores. And there's a rivalry between the main showroom and the discount outlet. The discount outlet is like, yeah, we sell it cheaper. They're on Chicago Drive on the north side of the street behind Little Caesars in Granville, Michigan. There you go. Mention my name, save an additional 10% at Johnson Carpet One Discount Outlet. Okay, you get a box of food showing up at your door from HelloFresh. Best day ever. You're like, oh, man. I cannot wait to open that thing up, That amazing packaging that keeps everything cold and fantastic. You pull out the meals. You're right. We're going to eat like queens and kings at this household with these meals from HelloFresh. Best day ever. Bonus. You get 65% off that box plus free shipping. Oh, my God. HelloFresh has never had a deal like this, and it's only because you are a listener of the Eric Zane Show podcast. HelloFresh.com/Zane65 and use the code Zane65. You get 65% off plus free shipping. That's incredible. HelloFresh.com/Zane65 and then use the code Zane65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Man, I'm telling you, this is life-changing. The food shows up at the door. Everything laid out perfectly. If you know how to read, then you know how to cook amazing meals for your family. Okay? Problem if you don't know how to read. Track down someone in your inner circle who knows how to read, and they will help you. That's how simple this is. HelloFresh, the absolute best fast and fresh recipes. HelloFresh's latest line of meals featuring robust flavors and filling portions are ready in less than 15 minutes. Enjoy taste and quality done quick with recipes like, get this, falafel power bowls. What? Seared steak and potatoes with béarnaise sauce. I had to practice saying that. Or Southwest pork and bean burritos. You'll find quality ingredients in HelloFresh's recipes. In fact, ingredients travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days, so you know they're fresh. Okay? Again, go to HelloFresh.com/Zane65. Use code Zane65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Check it out. HelloFresh.
Science proves quality sleep is vital to your mental, emotional, and physical health. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts to help keep you both effortlessly comfortable. And it's temperature balancing, so you stay cool. So you're at your best for yourself and those you care about most. Life-changing sleep, only from Sleep Number. It's our President's Day special. Save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Okay, back to more of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast.
All right. If you want to see me bomb miserably, I'll be scared to death when I do this. You need to go to Hilliard's Corner Lounge in beautiful Hopkins, Michigan on Thursday, okay? That is where I will be doing this podcast in front of all of the people who come. It might be zero. I'm betting that will be the case. But I'm bringing all this gear, and it's going to be fun to at least listen to it when you're not there, so you won't be able to see my gray face at how many people don't care. Nevertheless, it should be a fun time, and I'll act like I'm having fun. Hilliard's Corner Lounge in Hopkins for the Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty Eric Zane Show podcast live. I should start at probably, sometime just around 5:30. I know that's kind of vague, but I kind of always do that. I'll be there well beforehand, setting all this crap up. Now, why? Henry, after the podcast, is doing a first-time home buyers seminar. Very informal. All he does is talks to you. If you're in the market for a home where you think you could be or you want to be, well, it might be closer than you think. Show up. It's no pressure. It doesn't cost you a damn thing. We will hang out and do the podcast and talk to Henry Steffes. The Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty. Find them online by going to ericzaneshow.com and click on Henry's logo. See you Thursday, the 14th at Hilliard's Corner Lounge.
This is the Eric Zane Show podcast, powered by the Zaniacs. For the free podcast and merch, go to ericzaneshow.com.
Love the Zaniacs. Thank you, Zaniacs, for being into the Eric Zane Show and supporting us, me and you, and on and on. The Eric Zane Show podcast. Oh, man, I just got the urge to give out the phone number. Join us. What was our phone number? 800-785-1073.
You can join us on the show, 800-785-1073. Aw. Okay. You might be wondering, why the hell is Zane dressed like he's about to go on a political talk show? This is what I'm wearing. For those of you that are listening to the recorded audio version, I'm describing this to you, and the folks on Facebook Live already know this. A hot pink shirt, the black sport coat. I am going out to do something fun this evening. I've been hired to host an event, a fundraiser for Easter seals. When I say hired, I mean I'm volunteering. I actually tried that. I felt like it's such a jackass. It's Easter seals benefit with the Grand Rapids Griffins. I'll talk more about that in a second. But I'm like, hey, I'm like between jobs right now. I'm doing wacky videos from my attic, for God's sake. You think maybe you could throw a couple bucks at Eric Zane? And I could sense that was not a good question. I said, never mind. And, forget that I even asked that. I actually retracted the request. Yeah, never mind. The people have it worse than I do. Forget that I even asked you that. What I'm saying is I'm a pushover, okay? Hello to somebody who just weighed in. They're listening in Juarez, Mexico. Crime town right there. Somebody just talking to me on Facebook. Thank you very much. I want to invite you, a few of you, to a special event next week, Wednesday. My friend Rick over at TC Paintball, who is a key sponsor of this show, wants me to have the experience of playing the game. Now, I have played paintball before, but I said, Rick, if you want me to play paintball, I'll play paintball. He goes, yeah, I want your whole family there. I go, Rick, it's the middle of the workday. Not everybody has jobs like you and I. You're over there trying to. By the way, not only does he own TC Paintball, but he's a professional paintball player. I mean, this is like legit. You should see some of this. He was talking to me about strategies that they have to draw up for these tournaments. It is really intense. It's warfare. And he goes, yeah, I want your family there. Well, you're not going to get my family. I'll be there, and I'll get Jim there. How does that sound? All right. But we need like 6 people. And I go, well, Jim might be able to do that. So I'm encouraging. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not doing it right this second. Just be on the lookout for it because I got to wait till Jim tells me how many he's got committed. It's Tuesday right now, so we've got a little bit of time to play with it. If you can be at TC Paintball on Wednesday at 11:30 to play paintball with me for free, you got to reach out to me. Eric at ericzaneshow.com, just so that I can know you're in the running. Now, that doesn't mean you get to play, but just throw your hat into it, okay? And if there is a lot of people that want to do it, well, what I'm going to do is I'll actually have a drawing for the team members that I need. Let's say 10 of you want to get in on it. I know that's the middle of the day, but some of you might be able to pull that off. So that is Wednesday at 11:30. If you want to play paintball with me and Jim over at TC Paintball, send me an email, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Okay, I would appreciate that, and we'll be off and running. I want to warn you that today is a crazy-ass day, as they all are. I recorded about an hour's worth of material with Scott Winters, a legend in the Grand Rapids, Michigan radio landscape. I often wonder if bits like that, segments like that, are interesting to you folks out of market. I try to make them as interesting as possible for you folks who don't know who he is. But I know this. I really enjoyed my conversation with him. A true professional. Excellent, excellent, excellent. It's like I had been speaking to him all my life. He was that good. That man has to be on a morning show. He has to be on a talk show. The dude is a driver. And he's just a really, really very talented communicator. I couldn't have been more impressed with his ability to just come in here, a strange place, on a podcast, on Facebook Live, and crush. Holy crap, I was so engaged when he opened up about the life and times of Rick Beckett. Wow, that was a stellar thing. A lot of behind the curtain
action going on there. Really, really great stuff. For anybody who ever listened to that show, you're going to love that. That's on the free podcast. You can check that out. So very cool. As we do this from the Back Alley Comedy Club studio. Thank you again to Don and Ricardo. Now, this week, it's, Laugh Fest is going on, and a lot of the key people associated with Back Alley are going over to Laughsketball at the Deltaplex on Sunday. And then the club is back at it March 22nd and 23rd with Mitch Fatel. Okay? So that will be happening. While I'm at it, Adam Deggy is going to be marching in here for a guest appearance on this very show on Thursday. Keep your fingers crossed for tomorrow for an interview with the dude I talked about yesterday, Carlos Orquezo, I think is how you say his name, from the Saginaw area of Michigan, who he was 650 pounds. He dropped it all the way down to 187 pounds. What's the math on there? Somebody send me that math. Anyway, I don't think I've ever heard of such a, because you've heard about like on what's that show where they it's really sad. God, is it sad? My 600-pound life, or I think it's 800-pound life, or something like that. And these people just die, And I don't know if any of one of them have survived or been able to live any type of normal life. But Carlos was on the way, man, and the dude shed it. And I cannot wait to talk to him during yesterday's podcast. And I mentioned this on the Patreon. He emailed me back. He goes, I'm in. I'm like, oh, sweet. So now I'm just waiting for the final firm up. I know I'm jinxing it. Now it's not going to happen. Now he's going to hate my guts and something bad's going to happen or whatever. But damn, I cannot wait to talk to that dude and get a little glimpse into the life of a dude who drops all of that weight. EricZaneShow.com for all of my free podcasts. And I don't know what's going on, but something's working, because on the freebie, yesterday was a through-the-roof day, and today it ends at 8. The podcast day, the measurement day, ends at 8 p.m., and it's already at a really, really high number. It's well over 3,000 downloads for a 24-hour period. For me, that's excellent. And then you multiply that times 5, and then you take the weekend, which usually amounts for about 2,000. So we're sitting, 17 to 20, 21,000 downloads a week is huge. So whatever you're doing, thank you. Thank you for spreading the word about the Eric Zane Show. Now, while I'm at it, I have gotten somebody who wants a cameo from Meathead, my dad. And you'll be able to see that. I'll tell you all about it after it happens. But just so you know, I will be with my dad Sunday. We are doing a live Facebook Dear Meathead. Now, I know some of you people hate Facebook. Side note, I'm getting to a point now where what you're watching on right now, the Mevo, is not only going to go out to Facebook, but at the same time, it's going to go out to Twitter and to YouTube all at once. So you choose the platform. It's a little bit expensive for the software, but that's how you do it. You guys are giving me money to build this show. I got to put it right back in here and make it happen. So the software was $15 a month for what we're doing right now, just on Facebook. It's $90 a month. Oh. For me, that's a hell of a lot of money. But whatever. We'll build this thing. So anyway, I completely digress. Meathead, he's going to have his birthday celebration on Sunday. My dad, he's born on St. Patrick's Day. And so I'm bringing all this gear, and we're going to talk to him. I think I have the ability, because I have a lot of the phone numbers from a lot of the Zaniacs who, you all love my dad. And what I would think I can do is pipe you. How you doing? I can pipe you in via, FaceTime, and you can talk to Dad, and that can be part of it. So I think we can finagle that. You want to show everybody how pretty you are? Hello? You want to come over here and do a twirl? for these people? Come over here and twirl. Like, do it. You can walk in and then, no, don't look like a hooker. Spin. You got to spin. That's how you do it. You can't. I didn't mean to look like a hooker. You don't look like. We kind of match. Okay, I gotta go. You got. You look right there.
Oh, hi.
Okay, bye bye. See ya. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, bye. All right. So stay tuned for the time on that. By the way, I don't yet have the time. I'll be over at Charity Scam Mike's house. All right. I want to get into this. There are radio stations that are banning Michael Jackson. I'm a little bit concerned about that, and I'm a little torn about it. Okay, a little bit of background in case you don't know. Documentary, what is it? Leaving Neverland, the Michael Jackson accusations being levied by two of the kids. I haven't yet watched it. I apologize, but it's okay for what I'm about to say. I don't need to watch it. They've said, all right, yeah, we were abused and raped nonstop. I'm guessing. Now, I did watch a couple of things before even watching it. I haven't watched it, but there is another side to that story, and it's a lot of debunking that goes on of the things that were said by the two who did, in fact, testify on Jackson's behalf. I'm sure they cover all that, and I'm sure they explain why that doesn't matter now. And I have no dog in the fight, and I'm guessing after I watch it, I might. I know me, and I'm moved by documentaries usually. So it will probably be tough for me to not think that he did that. But who knows? Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to try to look at it with an open mind and a huge grain of salt. But now I keep hearing that the music is being banned, and I don't know. You got a guy who was acquitted. These two testified on his behalf. The whole thing is weird. I'm not really sure what to think. But there is a person who does know what to think, and he's a New Zealand radio TV personality by the name of Duncan Garner. I'd like you to listen to what he has to say. He's got a very thick accent to that part of the world, but I'm sure you'll be able to follow along.
Number one, New Zealand radio stations have dropped Michael Jackson like a hot potato because of this documentary about about him. They've effectively labelled Jackson a paedophile, haven't they? MediaWorks and NZME say, no, we're not doing that. We just aren't playing Michael Jackson songs because, we haven't for some time now. We're just playing the music people want to hear. Oh, rubbish. These networks have joined the hashtag Time's Up and the hashtag MeToo movement, and the Canadians and the BBC, because, let's be honest, they want to be on the right side of this, so you think they have to go over there. I think it's a dangerous and a weak position. It's a bloody woeful, pathetic, weak position. Chris Brown beat up Rihanna, and his music's on the radio. I stand firmly against beating up of women, so drop his music now. R. Kelly, drop his. Who's the moral judge in all this? Yes, Jackson is weird. We all know this. He's childlike, odd, and not like, say, you and me. But he was investigated for years and years, found not guilty. One of his accusers now backed him in court more than 10 years ago. There was so much confusion and grey area. Paedophilia is a heinous crime.
Pedophile.
And Jackson will forever be this disputed genius. But to me, the big media companies, of which I work for one, who champion free speech all the time and the right to be innocent until proven guilty, have run screaming into the arms of the social justice warriors and completely capitulated and fallen at their knees, saying, me too. Should the next documentary claim that Jackson's innocent, will he be back on the playlist? 25 minutes away from 7.
There we go. I thought that guy did a good job doing that. The term social justice warriors, I think when you call someone that, I think it really burns their ass. I don't know about you, but if I'm like on the other side of that and someone refers to someone as a social justice warrior, yikes. I think you can really piss somebody off doing that. I want to know what you think. If you could, at some point, either leave a comment on this Facebook and on the comments, and I'll go back and read it. Or if you're listening on the audio version, I'd be curious as to what you think. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. We can revisit this tomorrow. That would be fun. Is everything that happens, does all the music have to be banned? And I guess off the top of my head, I can't think of anything terrible, like as bad as Michael Jackson. I mean, he had a good example with the Rihanna thing. I want to know what you think. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. And then we can bounce around. I want to give you a free T-shirt, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure what the next T-shirt party is going to be like with Larry and Jericho, but I've got about 5 people that said that they want the T-shirt. If you want the Eric Zane Show T-shirt, and that includes the Making a Podcaster shirt, the Dear Meat Head shirt, the I'm a Zaniac shirt, just a straight-up station or a T-shirt with my logo on it. Don't work at a radio station. What you do is just sign up to be a Tier 2 member, which features this Patreon Tier 2 bonus podcast along with the live stream that goes with it. Now, on the live stream, it's usually late at night for me when I record that. I'm punchy, probably half pissed. It's a little different than this. The language is a little bit more abusive in nature. I don't give an F when I do that podcast. If the Eric you like is not charity Eric, then you will like this. Now, I say get the 10 because you get the T-shirt and all the videos. But if you only like the 5 and just want to hear the damn podcast of like this story I have about a lady's insurance scam and the sick, twisted way that she tried to cash in the money and the beautiful string of obscenities that I will unleash about that story, then you sign up to be a patron member at ericzaneshow.com. But if you do want the 10, I will get you a T-shirt personally. I'll reach out to you and say, hey, you're in, and then we will print you a T-shirt over at Larry and Jericho's house. Okay. There's this. Soccer, the great game of soccer. It's immensely popular. This doesn't really have anything to do with international soccer. I just thought that fit because that guy sounds funny. So, boom. If any song has to do with soccer from now on, it's that one. This happened, I believe, somewhere in the South. It sounds like it because everybody who's talking, they sound like they're from the South. And my God, this might have been one of the worst things I've ever seen. Have you ever been to like a high school facility? You know, they have those giant light poles. They're, I don't know. I would say in some cases 10 stories high. At this place where they're playing the soccer game, they're made of wood, and it was a windy day. Teams are on the field, and there is cell phone footage on Twitter, and damn it, I did not publish it again. Time out. You need to know that I have a spot on my website where I can put all these videos up just by clicking around, but I've been so ridiculously busy, I haven't yet figured it out yet. Sorry. Anyway, I will tweet it out, I swear, in a stack of Bibles. Just look near the top of my Twitter. It's not there now, but it will be later. What you will see is youth soccer players. I think they might have been like middle school, perhaps high school. No one's dead. No one's in a coma. Miraculously, this thing comes down like whammo, and it hits a ref's leg and obliterates it. Now, if you're like the squeamish type, you won't really see the leg go 90 degrees, but it's bad. And I'm not kidding you, one more step to the left because his back was to it. He didn't even know it was coming. You will be floored when you see this video. And I think it hit a kid, but the kid's going to be okay. And ref is okay. He's had worse because he's probably had to deal with all those a-hole parents. I bet you if you said to that ref, hey, what would you rather have? Talk to that group of a-holes or get your leg broke? He would rather have his leg broken. This is a news story that went along with this thing.
Certainly a terrifying moment today as the strong winds toppled an electric pole right onto a soccer field where kids were in the middle of a game. 5 News reporter Juliana Clipson is in Clarksville where a student and a referee were injured and rushed away in an ambulance.
I mean, as soon as we stepped out of the truck, it was a big old explosion. I thought maybe one of the tents flew over.
Parents who were at the Clarksville soccer game say a large gust of wind snapped a light pole at the base, sending it falling straight down onto the field. At the same time, high school kids were on the field and in the middle of a game. This is video one parent posted to Facebook.
They're not sure if it's off yet.
On its way down, the Clarksville superintendent says it struck a referee and a Mena High School student.
When I got up there, I seen that pole laying on the ground, and a bunch of people, freaking out saying the pole.
Sounds like Kenny.
Pole laying on the ground. And a bunch of people, freaking out, saying the pole is laying on somebody and all that.
Clarksville.
Yeah, you should have seen it. The guy he broke his leg. Yeah. Well, the light pole. Yeah, it hit the kid. He almost died, but they didn't. That's not funny.
Clarksville activity director.
Hold on, what the am I doing? Oh God, this is embarrassing. See what happens. All I did was one button, and I completely ruined everything.
Director Michael Banning says the ref has a broken leg and fractured femur. The high school player suffered from wounds to the body, head, and legs. Parents say the wind speeds at the field today were so strong, the remaining wooden poles look like they could snap at any moment.
I hope they do.
Snap at any moment, too.
It seemed like it was 40, 50 miles an hour. I mean, even the goalposts where they play football were swaying back and forth.
I'm sorry. I don't speak math. Could you slow down?
Here you can see caution tape is in place, and school faculty has closed off the entry until the facility can be evaluated as a safety precaution. As a parent, Meyer says the whole situation was frightening.
In like 30 seconds, our Alma boys were supposed to take the field, and that could have been any one of our kids at any point in time.
God, she sounds hot.
Parents say Johnson County EMS and Clarksville PD arrived to the scene quickly and evacuated the stadium to keep everyone else out of harm's way.
Man, they did a terrific deal. They got there quick. I mean, the response was amazing.
In Clarksville, covering news where you live, Juliana Clipson, 5 News.
I was disappointed because they got them all safely out of there. Yeah. Okay. Nevertheless, I guess they're all right. So everybody wins. There's a story going around about Conor McGregor. Holy crap, this a-hole is in trouble. He got arrested.
There's only one Conor McGregor, and there's the fight.
The only reason why I'm doing this story is because I want to play this song. This guy, I think he spun out. It was him walking out of a hotel, and there's a fan there who has a cell phone. The cell phone goes, "Oh my God, Conor McGregor," and takes a picture of Conor McGregor. Okay. Did Conor A, say, "Hey, how about we get one together"? B, "Not right now, man. I'm in a rush." Or C, slap the phone out of his hands, stomp on it into a million pieces, pick up the pieces, and left with the phone? You would be right if you said he did C. They arrested McGregor. I'm sure he'll have to do something stupid. Didn't he get arrested not that long ago with that whole bus thing? A little anger management issue with Conor. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to know that the Patreon will be after tonight's banquet where I'm giving drinks to hockey players, or hockey players are giving drinks to Diana. She's probably going to try to go home with one of them. Yeah, go home with her. So I'll do that late tonight. If you want to see it on YouTube, go to patreon.com/Eric Zane or just go to ericzaneshow.com. And we can do a late night version of the Patreon bonus cast. Thank you. Sorry for the short one. Okay, pause in the quote-unquote action. If you've always wanted to get a pool installed in your backyard and you live in West Michigan, I'm talking to you. Yes, you can. Yes. How do I pay for it? What do they do? What do I do? Who do I call? Just do me this favor. Humor me. Call Jeremy out the door at Jennison Pool and Spa Depot and have him talk you through this. He's a professional. He's been installing in-ground pools for 25 years. Now, if you try to call anybody else in the entire pool industry, they're going to tell you it's a 2-year waiting list. This I know. However, Jeremy just added 2 new work crews at Jennison Pool and Spa Depot, so he's ready for action. Call him for your in-store consultation, 616-457-0500. Then you're going to go to the store in Jennison on Chicago Drive on the south side of the street between 8th and 12th.
Blue awning, can't miss it. Right next to some flea market, I think. Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, go in there, and it's going to smell like chlorine. It smells clean. You're going to sit down, and he's going to tell you what's up. Call at 616-457-0500. Say, Eric Zane told me to call you about my in-store consultation. Start consulting me. Jennison Pool and Spa Depot. You are going to be having all the parties in your backyard. Chicks are going to be throwing their underwear at you. You're probably going to find jizz in the pool. Thank you, Jennison Pool and Spa Depot. They also have a bunch of hot tubs. My God, seriously, those hot tub jets are so intense. If you put your crank on one of them, oh my God. Anyway, all different styles to choose from, different levels that you want to commit to and a dollar amount. Plus, they service. They do all service on hot tubs and pools and all the chemicals you need. Friggin' great. Jennison Pool and Spa Depot, 616-457-0500. Can't forget about Blue Frost IT. That is the managed IT service provider for the Eric Zane Show podcast. If your business needs help with the tech, you got to call Blue Frost, 616-200-8550. Hello to the Kent County Health Department. When it comes to the WIC program, this is the first thing you should do. Reach out to the folks at the health department. They're going to give you step-by-step instructions about how to see if you qualify for the WIC program. Keep the family fed with WIC. All right. More from Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Okay, folks, this is it on Thursday, the 14th of March. If you're listening to this right now, it was recorded on the 13th of March. If you're listening to this after the 14th of March, you missed it. That is the Eric Zane Show podcast live at Hilliard's Corner Lounge. I'll have my speakers, I'll have my little microphones and my little powering strip and board and laptop and, my gosh, an iPad, a couple of pairs of earbuds, top-of-the-line gear for my Steffes group of Keller Williams Realty live podcast. We're headed to Hopkins. I want to see monster trucks in the parking lot. I want to see guys smoking filterless cigarettes. Is that what you do when you're an S kicker? Cheek full of tobacco and any other dumb stereotype I can think of. Nevertheless, the good people of Hopkins, Michigan are all invited to see me at Hilliard's Corner Lounge on Thursday as I do this podcast. The more the merrier. I'm hoping for 3. That's my goal. 3 of you to see the show. When you're a bottom feeder, scumbag podcaster like myself, that's what you got to do. You got to set that bar low, and then if there's 4, then you're freaking golden. Anyway, why am I there? That's because Henry Steffes invited me. He has a first-time home buyer seminar happening when I get done. So I'm going to get there. I'm going to eat the hell out of a burger and some fries. And I'm going to sit down and do this podcast. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Whether you're there or not, we're going to do this podcast at Hilliard's Corner Lounge. Probably get started about 5:15, maybe 5:20 or so. And then Henry takes over at 6:30. If you've never purchased a home, come and hang out. If you're paying rent, you can buy a home. Okay? You might have just talked yourself out of it like you're an expert. Talk to an expert. Henry, there's no obligation. He just wants to talk to you. Very informal. Have a beer. Talk to Hank. Great guy. That happens Thursday, March 14th. Hilliard's Corner Lounge, Hopkins, Michigan, with me, the Eric Zane Show podcast, and you. See you then. Holy crap. The stress level's at an all-time high. Look at that angle. Oh, it's embarrassing. Hold on. This whole thing is a mess. Son of a bitch. Shut up. Son of a gun, am I mad?
Finally, he's found a place where he can't overstay his welcome. His house, as long as his wife doesn't get sick of him. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Yeah, it is happening right now. My goodness, I got to pay this quick or else I'm going to get an internet ticket. Good day to you, and welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is the first time. Hello, good to see you. I see you there. I see you, Big Daddy. I see a big guy. What was that thing that Rod Allen used to say? I see a big boy. I miss Rod Allen, for God's sake. I'm going to miss Rod Allen. I don't care if he was fighting with Mario. I miss that guy. All right. What a catastrophe. Yeah, I know the sign's backwards. We're going to have to get through it. You're going to have to power through. Maybe the sign isn't backwards. I don't know. Hell, this has been just a cluster. I sat down here to do this podcast. For those listening on the audio, you're probably like, what the hell is he bitching at? But for those who are watching it live as it's happening, by the way, all these podcasts, if you are watching it on Twitter right now, you can get everything you want on ericzaneshow.com. I have the podcast delivered to you audio form. Just hit subscribe under free podcast. So I was really under the pressure again today, being that there's a drive game tonight, a basketball game. So, there gets to a point in the day, which is now, where it's like, well, you better get going on the podcast because you got to get the hell out of here and whatnot. And so you don't want to be, the last thing you want to do is do something that's just piss poor because you don't have any damn time. So I'm setting this deal up. I posted online, hey, I'm going to be going at 4:55. Here we go. I know it's always an odd time to start, but I just want to give you a little bit of warning. And then... everything started to act weird. This is one of those technological snafu things that it will remain unexplained, and probably the next time when I try the equipment, it's going to work fine. But the Mevo camera, which I use, which is a terrific piece of equipment, it's something on Facebook's end, I think, because it says. The Mevo sent me a message saying that Facebook's down and everything's screwed up. So I'm like, no, not right now. Come on. So I'm like, well, let's do it. Let's go to the other platform. Let's go over to Twitter. And we'll get this done that way. I appreciate you joining me, of course. As always, the Eric Zane Show podcast online at ericzaneshow.com. Today I spent time with Carlos Orozco, the dude who lost nearly 500 pounds. Incredible weight loss. I was so glad to meet that guy and talk to him. Absolutely great. Terrific interview. His story, for anybody that is struggling with weight, is second to none. One of the best things I've ever heard. And you can get it, of course, at the site. Dear Meathead was published today with news about how he hurt himself again. He is okay. I'll tell you that. He is okay. But he was injured again. It's kind of funny. But I think big picture, I'm worried about him. Because I think he's making some poor decisions about things he shouldn't be doing. I don't know. That's a tough spot to be in if you're his age. Being that, hey, people are saying, hey, don't drive. Don't do this. Don't do that. But I don't know. All right. Being that there is a drive game, I'm going to get through this as best I can. I have some stories to tell you. First of all, yesterday was the fundraiser for Easter Seals that we did. And I was dressed up in a dress shirt and a sport coat doing this podcast. And off I went to the thing. And man, was it great. All the hockey players there. And what the hockey players and the Griffins do is they sit there and they pour wine from, various craft breweries, wines, beers, whatever it may be. So everybody's just getting bombed. Even, of course, Hickett's and Pumple, who were in here with me on that one day. And these two are trouble when they're not having anything to drink. So they're sitting there just drinking left and right, having a great time. So much fun. I got to hang out with Brian Lashoff, who just got signed to a new 2-year deal today by the Red Wings. And Jake Chelios. Walked up to Jake, and I go, what? We've never really talked, man. I go, can you answer a question for me? And he goes, sure thing. I go, can you take me through what it's like when your dad is one of the key cogs for the Chicago Blackhawks? You've grown up in Chicago, and you find out that he's joining the Red Wings. How old were you? And he goes, I was 9. I go, what was it? Were you super sad? He goes, well, I just didn't like leaving my friends. It wasn't so much the team. And
So he just talked about it. Now, Jake Chelios, man, he's making a great name for himself playing for your Griffins. You got to go to a game, man. The Griffins are doing great this year. Got to talk to, I was watching Hickett's, and I noticed that when he would drink wine, he'd take his teeth out. He's got that like retainer deal that you can just slide in. You remember when you were a kid, you had a retainer, and it just slides in and out super easily, so you can take it out when you eat? Well, it's like that, except there's fake teeth on it. And he's missing his front 2 teeth. You've all seen him before. In fact, I posted a picture of him on Instagram and maybe on Twitter of it with his. I was in between Pumple and him, and he had his teeth out. And I go, "Why are your teeth out?" He goes, "I take it out every time I have a drink of wine." I go, "Why?" He goes, I don't want the wine to stain my teeth." So he's constantly taking the thing out to drink wine, and then he puts his teeth back in. He doesn't care. And then they're sitting there getting half, maybe a little bit drunk. I don't know, maybe not. But they go, "Hey, we're coming over after." I go, "No, you're not." "Yeah, we are. We're going to podcast." And I'm like, "No, it's not like that. I don't want to just throw the thing on and have you drunk idiots just go and bogart the whole thing. No, seriously, we're coming over. It's going to be awesome." I'm like, "Oh, God, please don't come over." So I wake up at 1 a.m. and I get a text message while I'm standing at the toilet. And it's from Pumple. And it says, "Podcast time," or something like that. And Hickett's follows it up because it's a 3-person message. Hickett's writes, "We'll be there in 45. And I'm thinking to myself, do not wake people up. They did not come. Regrettably, they didn't come. Because if they would have come and shown up at the door, how great of a story would that have been? If these 2 idiots are banging on the door, waking up the dogs, probably setting off the alarm. Jim will grab the shotgun and shoot him. Top story on Wood TV. 2 stupid, ugly Canadians are dead. Film at 11. So that was a good time. We're raising money for Easter seals. I talked in addition to talking to Dad on Dear Meathead, we talked a little bit about doing the podcast live. If you haven't been following along, Facebook, unless they have completely died, but I don't think so. We will have Dad on Sunday, which is his birthday. So imagine this setup, but you'll be able to see Dad. And it's funny because there are people who only get the show on Facebook. And that's stupid. No, it's not stupid. But I would love you to, because you're missing things like Dear Meathead. Someone said sent me a message, said, "Oh, my God, I haven't heard from your dad in so long." It's like, well, that's because you're not subscribed to the podcast. Meathead has been here every week for the past 10, 11 weeks since I got let go at BBL. So make sure that you subscribe to the podcast and listen either on whatever app you want. It's all there, spelled out for you at ericzaneshow.com. We are set for paintball. Next week, Wednesday, I've got a crew. It's Jim, me, and a bunch of his mates. I didn't think he'd be able to get them all together. But we're doing paintball at TC. Now, this is a test run. I'm going to get video footage. It's going to be awesome. And the plan is to do this as a group with the Zaniacs and whoever else, because you're all Zaniacs to me. Even the guy who sent me the mean hate mail today. You won't believe this. This, I'm going to swear here, so turn it down. This pussy sent me an email, and I knew it was from a fake email because when people make fake emails, they just write any name down. And this, I'm about to say a bad word, pussy wrote, it's from Mark C. Now, he's throwing all these insults and attacking me about everything in the world, and I'm not subscribing to you anymore. He was like a Patreon member. And so I looked up Mark C. I've never gotten an email from Mark C. in 15 years of broadcasting. Odds are, if someone's listened to me for that long, they've written to me at some point. You see, and I can search a gigantic archive, and if your name doesn't come up, that's a fake email. Plus, it was just thrown together. So I wrote back to this. I'm about to swear right now. Twat. And I wrote, pardon me. I don't have it in front of me. Pardon me. I go, look, I can talk you through this. I know you want to. I know you're punching yourself out now, and you're wasting all your energy. I'm not going to write you, but I'm going to talk to you. Here's my cell phone. I gave this I'm about to swear. Gutless fuckstick, my cell phone number. And I said, call me anytime. I will take care of this for you. I will be waiting. He doesn't even look at the account. He's never going to look at the email. He made the email only for the one email. So he's never going to go back and look at it. He might now. But I don't care. I don't care if you all have my phone number for that matter. But you know why? I can just ignore it. I can just block your number. It doesn't matter. So anyway, he doesn't call me. So then I wrote back. I go, put on your big boy pants. Don't get bashful on me. I'm about to swear. No, actually, I'm not going to swear because I didn't swear to him. I'm just swearing to him right now on this. I go, and call me. I'd love to hear you, tough guy. I didn't say tough guy. I was not confrontational. I've since gotten confrontational. I'm actually challenging the guy to a fight. I will fight you wherever you want. You know what we could do? I could go. I have a friend over here who has a boxing gym, and he's been wanting me to train with him for a long time. I might even do that. That might be something fun to do. I will meet you at the gym, and I will fight you. I don't care when. Just let me know. I will arrange it. I'm going to put it on this video. We're going to make some money on it. But I will fight you, and I'm going to swear here. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. So there you go. That's what's the beauty of this podcast and what I'm doing here. I can do that to you now. I don't have to worry about when you trolls come after me and just turning the other. I don't have to turn the other cheek. I will fight you. Let me know. Fine. Now I'm getting people saying, "Hey, let's spar." Okay, I'll fight you all for $5. You see, I'm trying to pay my my mortgage and my energy bill. You get $5 per round, and you all line up. We'll do 100 rounds. Everybody who fights me for one round, you gotta give $5 at ringside. Okay, and then we'll fight. We'll plan on it. It'll be a great event. I'll have Andrea there as my corner man. It'll be awesome. All right, Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you want to send me an email. That was excellent. I loved that one. I don't even know how I got to that point of what I was discussing. This is what happens when I get wound up and go down a rabbit hole. It's just kind of weird. Yeah, I think we were talking about paintball. Anyway, we're going to do the paintball thing. We're going to do the bowling thing is getting close, so that could be just tremendous. Looking forward to that. Now, so kind of like the big story that's buzzing around is this college entrance scam from Felicity Huffman and some other skank. Let's see. Huffman is the wife of William H. Macy, who I already hate that guy. He looks like Tyrion Lannister minus the deformed body. If Tyrion Lannister were not a little person, if the dude who plays Tyrion had a normal body, a normal human's body, he would be William H. Macy. The dude is just a strange looking man. Never liked him. And his pain in the ass wife, Macy's lucky that he didn't get arrested too. Huffman's got locked up. And the other chick, Lori Loughlin, who's married to some guy I don't know. These scumbags decided to get their brat kids into college along with about 3 or 4 dozen other rich a-holes. And they decided to get their kids into any college by any means necessary. So you got a handful of people doling out big money to get these kids past all of the things that you and I, when we were young, or if you're young right now, getting into college, have in place so that they can be selective. You have to be, accepted. You have to apply. You have to have the intelligence and the brains to get in. And there's a waiting list, and there's a million and one other things that have to happen. You have to play by the rules. You break those rules, that's a RICO violation. Okay, it's racketeering, it's fraud, it's illegal, and so all these rich idiots decided they're going to go around the system. And in this big scam, there's one guy who's in charge of the scam. He's like the dude who has all of these people in his back pocket, people who work in ACT and SAT test administration. He's got them paid off. With that, he's got people who will take the test for your a-hole rich kid. He has people at colleges that are coaches, like I'm about to swear here, shitty sports that no one cares about, who can put your kid on the team in air quotes, but they're not really on the team, and then they're it's all effed. Anyway, there was a story on it in the news. This is how they talked about it. I believe this is CBS.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Glor, and we're going to begin tonight with Operation Varsity Blues, an investigation into the biggest college cheating scam ever prosecuted. Actresses Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman are among the 50 people now charged in this scandal. Investigators say that wealthy parents paid the accused ringleader $25 million to get their children into top colleges.
By the way, it's the ringleader. They ended up popping that dude, this scumbag, and he's the one singing like a songbird because they're going to lock him up for like 3,000 years.
Children into top colleges. The alleged scheme involved bribes, cheating on entrance exams, and bogus athletic profiles. Authorities say the colleges and most of the students who benefited were not involved, but plenty of others were. Here's Chip Reed.
Thank you, Chip.
This is a case where they flaunted their wealth, sparing no expense, to cheat the system. So
federal authorities were blunt as they announced the Justice Department's largest college admission prosecution ever.
It's a good thing that the feds have nothing else to do. They're going after this. Well, I mean, they've been working on it for a year on this case, but I don't know, maybe a little slow news day. Not really, because this is a big deal, but it makes you get the idea that, hey, we got all the terrorists because we're busting, the college scam.
Mission prosecution ever.
These parents are a catalog of wealth and privilege.
Court documents say the scheme was in operation for nearly a decade and involved at least 33 wealthy parents paying a total of $25 million to get their kids into some of the country's most elite schools, including Georgetown, Stanford, and Yale, through falsified test scores or pretending to be student-athlete recruits. The mastermind is William Singer of Newport Beach, California, who pled guilty today to crimes including conspiracy and racketeering and became a cooperating witness, turning in clients including actress Felicity Huffman of Desperate Housewives and Lori Loughlin of the Netflix show Fuller House. Huffman allegedly paid $15,000 to Singer to boost her daughter's SAT score.
Numerous parents paid Singer between $15,000 and $75,000. To have someone either take the exam for their child or to correct their child's answers afterward, all to achieve a sufficiently high pre-agreed score.
When I was going to school and I had to take the ACT, I just leaned over and looked at Duc Tron's. His name was Duc Tron. He's from Vietnam's answers. I think I said Stuart Lee in an earlier time I told that story. But I just copied Duc's answers, and I got in. I got an 18 on the thing. I didn't do a damn lick of work. I didn't have to pay $1 million.
Afterward, all to achieve a sufficiently high pre-agreed score on those tests.
The most elaborate part of the scheme involved bribing at least 9 college coaches, including Georgetown University's former tennis coach, to use recruitment slots for kids who had no intention of playing college sports. Some even photoshopped their children onto real athletes.
You see an image of some kid who's like in great shape, and he's like swinging the racket, and they put the face of the idiot rich kid on the dude. Can you imagine being the dude? And like, what the hell is that? That's not me. What? They're like fabricating the pictures.
Onto real athletes.
In return for bribes, these coaches agreed to pretend that certain applicants were recruited competitive athletes, when in fact the applicants were not.
Can you imagine if it's some fat ass kid who, even though it's just the face, he's got like 6 chins, but he's like, a swimmer.
As the coaches knew, the students' athletic credentials had
he's got like an 8-pack abs in this gigantically round face.
Had been fabricated.
That's the fraud prosecutors say Loughlin participated in. The actress allegedly paid $500,000 in bribes to get her daughters into USC as members of the crew team, even though they didn't row. When Singer emailed Lachlan that her daughter got in, she responded, "This is wonderful news." Singer replied, "Please continue to keep this hush-hush until March." Lachlan says, "Yes, of course."
Of course.
Lachlan's daughter, Olivia Jade, had to apologize after she said this.
This is Lachlan's daughter. Apparently, she's a social media hag, this little brat kid of hers. And she's got a bunch of people who follow her. And, she kind of just sits there and does her thing. And she got in trouble recently because she made these comments.
Jade had to apologize after she said this about college on one of her social media feeds.
But I do want the experience of like game days, partying. I don't really care about school.
Do you think some of these parents could...
So, yeah, no surprise there. What college kid wouldn't say that? Here she is. Her parents paid to get her in. She didn't get in. And she's already making statements like that. I think that's the most honest thing on this entire story is her saying that. She didn't care what school she goes to. You should have sent her like the local community college. You spent all that money, you dumbass.
Some of these parents could actually end up behind bars.
I do think it is possible for
CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman.
It is one thing to use your money to try to get your child into a better college, which is a crime. But it's quite another thing to be able to buy your way out of jail with the same money. That's not going to happen here.
If that was my wife, I'd rip her throat out.
That's not going to happen here.
The former tennis coach here at Georgetown University allegedly received $2.7 million for slots for 12 students. Now, neither the schools nor the students have been charged in this case, but one big question now is whether those students will be allowed to remain in their schools.
Oh, yeah. I got the answer. Hell no. You clean out the dorm right now.
Their schools. Jeff?
An amazing and maddening story. Chip Reed, thank you very much.
That's an awesome story. That is fantastic. Good work to the feds. I love it when rich a-holes get it. Huffman's got, that's the thing. I had never heard of Lachlan until this. Felicity Huffman I'd heard of, I think. But Macy, William H. Macy, that would be an even bigger fish if that idiot got popped. Huffman and her husband, actor William H. Macy, were accused of, as they said, taking advantage of the SAT and ACT. No charges for Macy, and I don't know how, because listen to this. The two parents allegedly helped their daughter with her college admission by making a purported charitable contribution of $15,000 to participate in the college entrance exam cheating scheme, the document said. Huffman later made arrangements to pursue the scheme a second time for her younger daughter before deciding not to do so. I don't know how Shameless got away with this. By the way, I can't watch that show. It's too uncomfortable. That's probably why I hate Macy. In January, there was an interview in Parade magazine. William H. Macy was the subject, and he was discussing in that interview, folks, how stressful applying to colleges for his sweet daughter has been. I quote, "She's going to college. We're right now in the thick of college application time, which is so stressful." Boy, this didn't age well, did it? I am voting that once she gets accepted, she maybe takes a year off. God doesn't let you be 18 twice, but that's just my opinion, and we'll see what she wants to do, what Felicity thinks, and how the chips fall. The court documents also stated that Lachlan and her husband, who is fashion designer, someone else pointed it on Twitter, Massimo Giannulli, what a handsome man, agreed to pay bribes totaling $500,000 in exchange for having their two daughters designated as recruits for the USC crew team. They already covered that on the thing. I don't know. I don't know if this story is here today, gone tomorrow. But definitely a big thing. Those people are in trouble. Holy crap. We have the Patreon bonus podcast to get to. I'm going to do that after the basketball game. As always, you know I hate to give you the short thing. I usually like to go at least 40. I really do.
But this is just one of those damn days again, like yesterday. Until hockey and basketball again, I'm kind of screwed right in the pooper when it comes to getting these out on time. And today's just one of those days. I know that's 2 in a row. But I was super happy to get you Dear Meathead earlier today and the interview with Carlos. Do listen to that. You're going to love that thing. My goodness. This is the Eric Zane Show podcast, proudly from the Back Alley Comedy Club studio. Adam Deggy tomorrow with Don, Mr. Excitement number 2. For Laughs Get Ball on Sunday, part of Laughs Fest. We'll have that tomorrow for you, along with Ron Van Timmeren. Thank you. Thank you. Get a free T-shirt, ericzaneshow.com. If you sign up for Tier 2, I'll give you a free T-shirt. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Pause in the action on Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Tag Accounting. Get your taxes done from Tag. Though in West Michigan, serving a client base throughout the entire country. Don't be duped with your buddy doing taxes for you or your mom. Don't fall for the stupid TurboTax shit. The program doesn't know all about the tax laws that are being changed in front of your eyes. Tax code specifications that can help you so that you get the most back each year. Make Tag Accounting your accountant every single year. 616-301-9516 from anywhere in the U.S. 616-301-9516. I got a paintball war coming up on March 12th. That is Sunday, March 12th. That's Paintball War 22, the St. Patty Splatty. You got to join me at this. It's going to be so much fun. Pizza party beforehand. You drop down $35. You get the gun, 500 paint shots, the mask, and a good time. Or book your own event at TC Paintball. Fully stocked pro shop. They can schedule any party for you at TC Paintball. Awesome. Thank you, Rick. TCPaintballGR.com. And my friends at Irvine's Auto Repair, making life easier for you when it comes to your car repairs. I love the fact that you could take the car there for whatever it is you think you need done, and they confirm it. Then they're going to check the whole car over and give you like priority as to what the problems are. Like, this can wait, but you might want to think about this. Or, hey, while we were doing this to your car, we noticed these brakes are an absolute disaster. You must get these replaced. It's like that. And that's the way it is. 616-532-6600 for Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. Love them. Continuing more of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Finally, he's found a place where he can't overstay his welcome. His house, as long as his wife doesn't get sick of him. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Yes. Hello to you all. This is the Eric Zane Show podcast. You know, I think the whole day is the Eric Zane Show podcast. Frankly, if you were to add up the time that it takes, with the interview segments, Ron, tooling around in my car on Twitter and whatnot, we have a pretty fair amount of time. And that's good. That's the way I like it. Keeps me busy, keeps my mind occupied. Wouldn't have it any other way. So welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. The solo monologue, stupidly stare at the camera. I don't know. For those of you that are listening to the audio, thank you so much for doing so at ericzaneshow.com. And for those of you listening, watching live on Facebook, we welcome you as well. A ton of stuff to get to. First of all, something that was great. I actually liked it. It made me feel good because that means I'm hopefully finally getting over letting go of the past on back in the day with Greg and Chris. You know, it took me the longest time in the world, and it's still not completely. I'm still not completely over that in terms of putting that behind me.
I'm pretty close now. And I heard Greg on the radio today doing basketball, and that dude is good. I thought he was always very good at it, but man, god dang it, is he sharp. Sharp as a tack. Excellent, excellent stuff. Well done. I was actually listening to it while recording on Twitter, as I like to do. And I heard, now let's go to the court with Greg Daniels and Rick Mahorn. I thought, well, this is pretty cool. So, yeah, good for him. Sounded excellent. Today was a screwy day for you. For you. More for me. For you, in that I said I was going to broadcast from Hilliard's Corner Lounge. Not broadcast, podcast, but I'd be on Facebook Live doing my thing. And, geez, everything went... Well, it was actually a very constructive, good day, but I need to walk you through it because when I got done talking to Don Veltman from Back Alley Comedy and Adam Deggy about the Laughsketball event for Laughs Fest, I can't even talk. I'm kind of tired. I apologize. But I had to break down all of this equipment. So everything that you see, or that you have grown accustomed to seeing, including like this table... all of the gear on top of the table, the camera that is in my face right now, the Eric Zane Show sign, not to mention what you can't see is a big, gigantic PA system, the one that almost destroyed my ears the other night, and more stands for the speakers. I brought everything I could because it was my understanding that when I go out there and then I do this podcast, and then Hank does his first-time homebuyers seminar for the for his realty. That was it. And so I get there early, and I meet Kevin, who runs Hilliard's Corner Lounge in Hopkins. And everybody was excited. Okay, man, this is gonna be a podcast. Gonna be great. Now they got a stage there. I go, this is absolutely ideal. First thing I noticed though was being that it was 4:30 or so, you had some folks who were part of the greatest generation. I'm guessing like my dad's age, sitting down, albeit slowly, for dinner. And so I was like, this is, I had a feeling that this was going, as soon as I saw this, I go, now I'm worried. This is going to be a mixed crowd. Now, this surpassed all my expectations for crowd participation. And you folks that came out to see me were fantastic because I had my sights set on 3, and I think there was probably closer to like 15. So thank you. That was great. And, but again, we got a mixed crowd. So I was a little worried about that because if I'm on stage and it isn't just like in my headphones, it's booming out to the facility. I'm worried about like cracking dick jokes and something stupid like that. And then, that would be just terrible. So I was worried. And then I'm like, well, maybe they'll finish their dinner by the time it's all said and done. I set up all this stuff. Good to go. And so then I'm getting closer to like time to do this. And the place is actually filling up quite a bit with the regulars, just people from the area that want a bite to eat. And by the way, the burgers there are like this big. And I didn't get a chance to eat because I was too stressed. But the Bush NA were flowing. My bladder's still filling up at a rapid pace from those. Thank you for buying me those beers, gentlemen. All right. So then I'm getting set to go on Facebook Live and do my thing. And there was an issue, a technical issue. And it kind of worked out for the best because what had happened was I just committed to getting the podcast started. And this was scary to me because I start to like, I had a roster of things I wanted to talk about. But, everything's bouncing off everybody. No one's engaged. People are looking at me like they want to kill me. At least I felt that way. And it was just nothing's landing. No matter what I say, I can tell. And it was just a horrible, horrible effort by me, I think. But I don't think I think that if anybody said anything there,
it just wasn't going to land. It was no one's fault. It was just, live and learn. No big deal. Now, before that, I saw Hank Steffes from the Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty. And he's like, okay, great. And then he's going to come on to his first-time home buyer seminar. So he's happy. Well, I spent about 5 minutes and up there dying, bombing bad. Then we start playing this game, and it just nothing's working, and I'm getting uncomfortable, and it probably was maybe like I got to maybe 10 minutes, and I just like, okay, well that's it. I just said I'm out. There's no way I can continue this. Way uncomfortable. My God. Someone said I had to leave. There was someone there. He goes, I was at the bar and I had to leave. I don't blame you. Oh, man. It was a real struggle. So, all right. I finished that. And I just acted like, yeah, that's it. That's it. No big deal. And so that I said, well, I just can't publish that. There is no way in hell I can publish that. So then Hank comes up after and he goes, man, I didn't even know you were going to do a podcast. I just thought you were coming here to shake people's hands and say hi. And I'm like, oh, damn it. And I go, well, I'm thinking to myself, miscommunication, no big deal. He was happy as hell. He had a whole bunch of people there, and he had people that he did his first-time homebuyer seminar with. But then I had to pick all this stuff up, put it into my carrying case and haul it all back home and then come up here and set it on up, and here we are. Woo. It's the commitment to excellence. Live and learn. Somebody bit off a little more than they could chew. Hell, I'm just getting used to doing it in here, for God's sake. But I'm glad I did it, honestly, because it got me way out of my comfort zone. It was way uncomfortable. Silver lining, everything worked, except for the Wi-Fi was bad, and I couldn't get the feed to go out. But again, blessing in disguise. Jeez. No one's fault at all, honestly. But everything worked. I mean, what I was saying was going out to them. If and when I ever pick a right spot to do something like this with maybe a little bit more of some planning, and I had all the time in the world to plan it, but I don't think if I was announcing that there was Martians landing across the street, I don't think anything would have landed. It was just a really not a good spot for me to be in. I felt unsafe at the time, but everyone was very nice, and I'm so glad that they came out. All right, still getting a lot of feedback from some of the interviews this week. Got some people. I had one guy write about the Carlos Orozco interview, the guy who weighed 650 pounds and then shed it all. Damn it, is that great? Somebody said that he immediately realized that he's got to get his butt in gear and put in place to start a exercise program. That was great. Carlos also wrote me a letter because I forwarded him that email. And he is realizing rather quickly what he's stumbling onto and what he has the ability to do to influence people. Man, that is exceptional. Also got a comment about the Scott Winters interview. How about that, man? Winters put me on his blog, and that was great. And a lot of people loved that interview. I had somebody say that it was as good as the Kevin Matthews interview, who I spoke with yesterday. And he is going to come back on this show within the next couple of weeks. And he says he wants to visit me here and bring Tim Cusack. Now, for you folks that have ever listened to LAV back when Kevin was on, Kevin would have a terrific character actor. And the character was known as Father Tim. That was Cusack. Cusack is a boy, and I tell you, out of all the things Kevin did when he would interact with Father Tim, man, just some funny-ass stuff. Really, really good. So Cusack and Matthews are supposed to cart their asses over here, and we're going to get together, and we're going to talk for about 5 hours is what we're going to do. I never thought that we would have the opportunity, or that this show would have the opportunity to have such fantastic people on. The ability and the whole long-form interview thing is, again, quickly becoming one of my favorite things. The whole thing's my favorite thing, frankly. I just like talking to you. I spoke today with Joshua Ryle. That name will mean something in a second. You got to let me get a drink of water. Hang on. Here's the story. On the interview with Ron today, Ron and Gene, which crushed, by the way. Gosh, do I love those two. Ron brought up that on, I think it's March 22nd, there is a fundraiser. No. I'm getting this wrong. Don't even listen to me. Anyway, go back and listen to it to get the date. The film The Russian Five is a documentary that is out in limited release coming up. And I think it opens on the 22nd. And I think coming up in one of those days around there, my old buddy Bill Simonson is going to do a fundraiser to see that movie, and the proceeds go to the Griffin's Youth Foundation to help underprivileged, underserved young people get on the ice. And that organization does that for about 450 kids right now. So they are just killing it in the Youth Foundation. Anyway, when Ron said that, I go, damn it, that sounds like a great movie if you like hockey and like the Red Wings in that era when you had Fetisov, Kozlov, Konstantinov, Fedorov, and Larionov. Those five guys on the ice at one time. And this movie, this documentary, has won all sorts of awards at film festivals. Big time. And it's made by a dude in Michigan, here in Michigan, called Joshua, I believe you pronounce it Ryle, R-I-E-H-L. And they talk about how this film is half hockey movie, half espionage movie, because all these guys had to get snuck out of Russia somehow. The mastermind behind these movements was a guy who's still with the Red Wings by the name of Jimmy Devellano. This movie is supposed to be just fantastic. So when I was driving, I parked the car, and I looked Joshua Ryle up on Facebook. And he and I have a mutual friend, Mike Walters from the Detroit Cast. I've mentioned him before. He's a good friend of mine. And I texted Mike. I go, hey, man, you know Ryle? And he goes, yeah, we're pretty tight. I go, oh, man, I got to get him on. By the end of about an hour later, I was in touch with the guy who made that movie, and he's going to be on this week. In fact, I think I just got an email from him. I'm going to record either Saturday or Monday. So I will let you know about that. If you're any fan of that Red Wing era and a excellent espionage story, thriller, you're going to love how he talks about making this documentary. Terrific filmmaker right here from Michigan. Jeff Daniels is in the film. Scotty Bowman's in the film. Darren McCarty's in the film. All these people. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. You know who's still having a bad day? Those two more than one idiot, dozens of idiots, rich bastards who scammed their way into getting their brat kids into top-level universities. The fallout of this disaster keeps happening, and I am excited that all of these rich a-holes are going to go to prison. Check this out from NBC.
Tonight, new fallout from the massive college cheating scam. Actress Lori Loughlin dumped today by the Hallmark Channel after being accused of paying $500,000 in bribes.
I think that's Aunt Becky.
In bribes to get her daughters into USC.
Highlight palette with Sephora collection.
Her youngest child, YouTube star Olivia Jade, was also dropped today by cosmetic company Sephora. As the scandal unfolded, the freshman happened to be in the Bahamas on this yacht owned by billionaire Rick Caruso, the USC Board of Trustees chairman.
Okay, so again, freshman brat, when the scandal broke, is on a yacht with the dude who is the Board of Trustees chairman at USC, the school that mom and dad scammed her into. You're in the middle of the ocean. How awkward is that going to be? Oh, my gosh.
Trustees chairman.
She doesn't even really need college, and if I know that she's paying to get into a selective school that she doesn't even want to go to, it's kind of irritating.
With outrage growing, a lawsuit filed today comes from a student at Stanford University. Kalia Wood says her degree from the prestigious college won't be worth as much as it was before the cheating scandal. Suing the 8 universities involved and William Singer, the alleged mastermind behind the scheme, Wood says she never knew the admission system was an unfair, rigged process in which parents could buy their way into the university through bribery and dishonest schemes. It could become a class action suit involving more than 1 million students.
I don't know. That whole thing sounds a little weird to me, this class action lawsuit. My degree from Stanford now is worth less because you all cheated to get your kids into these schools. It sounds like a little bit of a stretch, if you ask me.
Suit involving more than 1 million students.
I'm Jane Buckingham.
Among those indicted, TV career coach Jane Buckingham,
Listen to this.
who isn't camera shy but has made no comment. Last May on Instagram, she wrote, "Don't cheat. Apply it to all aspects of life." About a month later, prosecutors say she agreed to pay a Harvard grad $50,000 to take the ACT test for her son. Tonight,
broad. I don't need to talk to you, dumb dummy. You dumb dummy. You dumb broad. You stupid dummy.
Asked for her son. Tonight, investigators fear nearly 800 parents with deep pockets tried to cheat the system. Perhaps a disturbing lesson on the real price of higher education for some of the ultra-rich and famous. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Wow. Man, this thing is, I don't know where it's all going to wind up, but this is just a bummer. The fact that now they're all losing their gigs, a Hallmark Channel, Sephora, whatever it was, makeup. These people are screwed. And everybody's going after them. It seems to be the big thing right now. And I don't know if these people are going to wind up in jail. Maybe. A lot of people are saying that they would wind up in jail. Thank you to Scott in Pennsylvania who sent this one. It's just wrong. This happened to where a guy, John Llewellyn Jones, I think this is in England, was sitting around the area and had some chips. He was eating out of a bag, and he's the type of guy who didn't like that the seagulls were flying around. You ever have that happen? Let's say you're over at Grand Haven, and there's seagulls all over the place where the pronto pups are to eat the overrated dogs and, chomping away, whatnot. That was happening to this guy, and he wasn't too happy about it. 65-year-old guy got fed up with these seagulls that were flying around him, and with surprising swiftness, he was able to chase one of the seagulls that was trying to get his chips and snagged it by the leg. Apparently, kids were standing nearby and watching as Llewellyn then bashed the seagull against the wall repeatedly and battered it to death in front of all these kids after it knocked the chips out of his hand. Everybody was shocked. Everybody's freaking out. Apparently in this part of the world, gulls are protected under Section 1 of the Wildlife and Countryside Act of 1981. Remember when that, who was it? There's a baseball pitcher. Randy Johnson threw a fastball at the exact moment that some bird flew right in the path of the ball, and the 100-mile-an-hour flat fastball hit the bird, and legit, all of its feathers went flying off of it. This a-hole pleaded not guilty, but the judges listened to 2 witnesses and said that, that's exactly what he did. They then found him guilty. This dude was sentenced. Get this sentence. Now, if some guy does that here,
I'm pretty sure you're probably going to get 30 days. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm saying that to me, that is, you should get some jail time for being cruel to an animal. Where this happened, I'm pretty sure they said England, he was sentenced to a 12-week curfew. That's right, a curfew between the hours of 8 p.m. and 8 a.m., which began immediately. So, bedtime. They said that at bedtime you can't go out of the house. That's the punishment? For murdering a bird in front of people? It's ridiculous. Hey, apparently a tornado touched down today it was in the middle of Michigan. So the weather was really, really strange today because the temperature went up above 60 degrees, and then you'd have like downpours, and then windy, and then sunny. It was just a really, really weird day. Now, I haven't heard about this tornado as to how much damage it caused, but it's described as a large, extremely dangerous tornado reported on the ground in mid-Michigan. So now I'm crossing my fingers that nobody actually got hurt in this story because I'm not really going to focus about how dangerous it is. It was reading in the story in MLive, they took a quote from somebody, which sounds a little weird. And maybe it's just my fifth grade brain taking over. As reports of damaged homes started to come in, some people were making comments on MLive's Facebook page that an apartment building was damaged and trees were down. One person said their back deck had been sucked off. Now, as soon as I read that, I went, now, was it okay, so you had to describe it exactly as the person said it, that the back deck had been sucked off. And, thank God for no typo on the word deck there, because just one little slip, if that E became an I in the word deck, we might have something that would be even more ridiculous. I hope nobody got hurt. I'm getting reports that everybody saw a rainbow today, too. Yeah, so there you go. By the way, there was an arrest made in, I think this happened somewhere down south. Daniel Sober was arrested for drunk driving today. You can't make this stuff up. Hey, don't forget, send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com. We've got a lot more coming up next week. Vets GR is going to be with us on Monday. That is a local organization helping veterans coming back from service get reacclimated and offering mental health support and things like that. And really an awesome organization. We're going to have 3 people in from there. We're going to have a packed house in here on Monday. On Sunday, what we need to focus on is Dear Meathead. Facebook Live, Dear Meathead with my dad. And I have nothing in terms of questions. And the last thing you want us to do is just sit there and stare at each other. So what I'm asking you to do is send me a question for Dad for the live version of Dear Meathead, eric@ericzaneshow.com. It really, really helped me out. Also, of course, if you want to join Patreon, for the Tier 2 folks, I will buy you a T-shirt, okay? You get the extra podcast, which I still have to record tonight for you. Tier 2 Patreons get a T-shirt. And if you go Tier 1, you get all of the extra podcasts. Tier 2 gets everything. Video, T-shirt, audio, live streams, you name it, all on the Patreon. Well worth $10 a month, okay? I appreciate you guys. As always, you're fantastic. Sorry, I'm going to bail because I got to get ready for the Patreon. But my goodness, here we go. Thank you so much. Thanks for putting up with me. We'll talk to you. Bye-bye. Okay, pause, hold it. On Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast. As you know, you have not had a burger until you've had one from Bosco's Pub. Oh my gosh. I know everything there is to know about making those burgers, except I do it slowly and sometimes mess them up. That's why I need someone there holding my hand. In case you don't know, I work there from time to time.
Bosco's Pub in Hudsonville, Michigan, part of Terra Square. Go there for the affordably priced gourmet burgers. You will love them. Small little place, part of Terra Square, Hudsonville, Michigan, Bosco's Pub. Thank you. Finally, batting last in the lineup today, my friends at A&E Heating and Cooling, Joe Martinez. May be wrong about the Super Bowl play to end the game or the stupid penalty, but he's right about everything HVAC. 616-516-8579. Call upon Joe Martinez if you have any issues with your heating and cooling systems. He is an absolutely fantastic professional who wants to help you. Thank you, Joe Martinez. Okay, one more segment to go here on Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast.
The Eric Zane Show podcast comes to you each and every time from the Back Alley Comedy Club studio. Howard City, Lansing, Whitehall, and of course, Back Alley Comedy Club in Muskegon. Mitch Fatel, the 22nd and 23rd at Back Alley Comedy Club. The following Saturday, David Dyer, and then Cliff Cash coming up on April 6th. Tons of things going on at Back Alley Comedy Club and online at backalleycomedyclub.com.
Powered by the Zaniacs. This is the Eric Zane Show podcast.
That's right. Thank you and welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. Follow the show, ericzaneshow.com. I'm not alone. I am joined by my son. Hello, Jim.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Okay, good. Okay, let's start off, first of all, by talking about this. Check this out.
News tonight, a woman's beef with Burger King, all caught on camera.
It all happened after police say she could not have it her way, and that sent her into a violent rage. The drama unfolding at the fast food.
Now, I know why she's in a violent rage, because no one messes with this fat beast's food. You should have seen her.
At the fast food restaurant on Plymouth Road in Livonia.
Only on 7 Action News reporter Anu Prakash tells us the charges she's facing and how she's no stranger to these types of outbursts.
Portia Tyler is facing several charges, including assault and battery. Police say it all started because Tyler demanded a cash refund and didn't get it. The moment Portia Tyler walked into this Livonia Burger King back on January 27th, police say she was adamant she deserved to get her money back, all because the burger she got the day before had...
The day before. And she's about to say because the burger had tomatoes on it. It had tomatoes on it, and so she was pissed off and said she... Who knows what she did with the burger? But she waits a day and then goes to get her money back.
All because the burger she got the day before had tomatoes on it, and she didn't order it that way.
The clerk was more than kind to her to offer a refund of other food items, etc. Portia was not having that. She wasn't. She obviously didn't get it her way that day. Then she went on a tirade.
A tirade caught on surveillance. A tirade caught on surveillance video. Police say that's Tyler trying to climb up on the counter repeatedly, only to be held back by...
She couldn't. She lifted a leg, and then she's, like I said, she's a fat ass, so she could not get up on the counter.
Held back by her fiancé. She then hurls the cookie rack right at the clerk. But when the clerk says they're calling the cops, Tyler and her fiancé start to leave. But investigators say Tyler wasn't finished. That's when she threw the wet floor sign at the counter and came back and threw food in the clerk's face.
All the stereotypes. So she throws the anything not attached to anything. So cookie holder, a wet floor thing. I wouldn't be surprised she grabbed the bucket full of ice, get some food.
Clerk's face.
I just question where are we going? That tomatoes get you this.
Can't you just pick them off? Can't you just pick them off the burger? I mean, is it really this? Is it in the end? How much better off are you, lady, after you do this?
That you're going to try to take it out on the clerk.
But we've learned this isn't the only time Tyler's been accused of losing it. Less than 2 weeks after this, Warren police say she was charged with larceny and disturbing the peace at a Cricket wireless store, all because a particular cell phone wasn't free with a new contract. They say she screamed at the clerk, messed up the displays, and even took a phone from the store. And when it comes to the Burger King drama, police say she lied about her name when they caught up with her. That's why she's also facing an obstruction charge on top of disorderly conduct and malicious damage to property.
We want people to know that, this isn't acceptable behavior. Whether it's in a restaurant, whether it's road rages, incidents like this can spill into so much more. And we just ask people, take a deep breath. and really look at what's important.
One employee told me off camera this kind of thing happens far too often, and she's glad to see Tyler being held accountable for her actions. I did try to get in contact with Portia Tyler, but so far haven't had any luck.
Yeah, it's
in Livonia, Anu Prakash, 7 Action News.
All right, thank you so much, Anu.
You couldn't get a hold of her because she threw the damn phone at the Cricket store.
Man, she really went off the deep end there.
All right, I'm going to call the, this is the Burger King where it all went down. Remember I told you I was going to call Burger King? Come on now. It's a perfect time to call. Dinner rush.
Hello. Please leave a message after the
What?
Oh, a voicemail.
Hey, we're calling about that fat bitch. Maybe get a... This is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast. We're going to try another number.
Burger King, how may I help you?
Hey, how are you, ma'am? This is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast. Hey, how are you? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, ma'am. Sorry to bother you. This is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast. How are things at the Burger King? Oh,
no.
What?
Hi, Burger King, how may I help you?
Sorry, ma'am. I think we got cut off. This is Eric Zane. How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Oh, excellent. Hey, I'm calling about that crazy lady that tried to jump the counter the other day.
What lady tried to jump the counter?
Is this the Plymouth Road Burger King in Livonia?
No, this is Burger King on 7 Mile. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, did you hear that story about that big fat bitch trying to climb the counter and going after the employees and throwing the cookie holder and the wet floor sign?
No, I don't believe that happened. When did that happen?
Yeah, it was on Channel 7. They talked about this big fat bitch, and she would try to climb the counter because she got tomatoes on her burger, and, you know, I'm a big fan of Burger King, so I didn't like that. So you haven't heard that story at all?
No, it happened today.
No, probably just a few days ago. Does that ever happen around there? Is that a normal thing for people to completely go bonkers like that?
Where is the Burger King at?
Livonia. Plymouth.
It's 2 Burger Kings in Livonia. Before Inkster and, after Inkster and West Point.
Okay, so this is not either one of those? The one I'm calling right now is on 7 Mile, you said?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Well, then I guess I'm just getting the wrong one. So if anybody tried to jump the counter on you, ma'am, what would you do? Oh, well, I'm surprised we got that far.
Oh, wow, we did get far, though.
All right. Okay, I'm narrowing it down now. All right, here's another one.
Thank you, Burger King. How can I help you?
Hey, how are you, ma'am? This is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast calling. How are things at Burger King?
They're wonderful.
Excellent. I am calling about the crazy lady that tried to jump the counter. I saw her on Channel 7 the other night. Was that you guys?
Who are you calling about?
Yeah, I was calling because some crazy lady got tomatoes on her burger, and then she went bonkers and started throwing. She threw the cookie holder, and the cops came and arrested her. Is that am I calling the right Burger King?
I don't believe you are.
Okay, so that didn't happen.
Who are you again?
My name is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, how's it been going today, though? Is everything okay? Are you having a good day?
Yep, everything's wonderful.
Anybody spitting any food?
I'm not sure about that.
I hope not. All right, well, you have a good day, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, God bless.
Yep.
Okay, bye. Bye-bye. See ya.
Man, you can tell they do not get that many phone calls.
No. God, that food smells good downstairs.
I'm excited to eat it.
Is she making a pulled pork? Oh, my God.
Burger King, Livonia, how can I help you?
Hey, man, how are you? This is Eric Zane from the Eric Zane Show podcast. I'm so sorry to bother you, but I was calling about that lady who jumped the counter after she got tomatoes on her burger.
Oh, wait, so what happened now?
Some crazy lady got tomatoes on her burger like 24 hours earlier. She marches into Burger King and demanded her money back a day later, and they said, no, go to hell. Well, they didn't say go to hell, but she threw the cookie holder and had a temper tantrum. She tried to get over the counter, but she was fat as hell, so she could not do it. And then the cops ended up arresting her.
Wow.
Yeah. Does that shit ever go down? Does that ever go down with you guys?
Well, we actually did have one moment like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this one man came in. It was right before dinner, so right around 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
He came in yelling about a cup of water. So my manager set the cup of water down.
Uh-huh.
He just slaps it away.
Oh.
And he tried jumping over the counter, attacking someone. Saw 3 other people behind the person that he was going after. He stopped, opened up our under-counter refrigerator, grabbed an armful of cheesecakes, then ran out of the building.
Holy crap. You know what? You listen, you got to write this stuff down. If you stay there long enough, you could write a book about all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's remarkable how people are treated at fast food. I mean, you guys are just trying to make a living, and everybody's got to come in there and treat you like crap.
Yeah, it's an interesting line of work.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I gotta get back.
Oh, of course. I don't blame you. I only wanted to talk about that big fat bitch. So I'm gonna. Sorry to bother you.
All right.
Okay. See ya. Look out for that big fat bitch. See ya. Bye.
We did have an incident one time.
I didn't expect that. He gives me this story. That was perfect. It's exactly what I was looking for. Before we continue, this segment is brought to you by our friends at the Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty. Thank you to them for being on board with the show. If you're thinking about buying or selling your home, shop around, but throw Hank into the mix. At least hear what he has to say, as you should. Find out the best one for you. I'm confident that you will just love Hank at the Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty. Find out more information at ericzaneshow.com. Click on Hank's logo, and off you go. First-time home buyers especially. Hank wants to hear from you. You know, a lot of times realtors, they want like the big fish, the person who's going to spend $500,000-$600,000 or $1 million on a home. Hank loves it when he gets that young couple who've saved their pennies and are just looking for that first home. That's who Hank wants to hear from. Wants to hear from everybody. Get to his website through ericzaneshow.com. Thank you, Hank. Boy, it was Friday that the terror attack happened, wasn't it?
Yes.
Where did you start getting notifications on your phone? Like, hey, something's going down.
Twitter. It's always on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that too. And isn't it weird? At first, I glanced at it because I was in the middle of something, and I saw Shooter Mosque.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay. 10 years ago, I would have dove immediately into that story. But we've become so desensitized to it.
Absolutely.
It's got to have some real punch. It's got to keep, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's really strange. But this one was one. This is a big one.
Yep.
So crazy guy. Was there more than one crazy guy?
They arrested 3 people, but the one that's really taken over the news is the one guy.
So that was the dude who
live streamed it.
Yes. I actually watched it, and that's all that is being released. But how would you like to be the guy actually seeing that? I mean, as it was live. So crazy dude. It was surreal how he just so calmly pulled up and opened up the back of his vehicle. There was weaponry everywhere.
Yep.
He didn't bring it all into the facility.
No, he did not. He brought 2 into the facility.
And that was he was active for like 15 minutes, was he not?
He brought in the Benelli M4, that semi-auto shotgun.
The what?
The Benelli M4. It's a semi-auto shotgun where you can just pull the trigger. You don't need to pump it.
Do you know that from playing video games?
No, I just, from being interested in firearms from a number of years, you just kind of know and you see it. It's an interesting firearm because it's used in target shooting, clay pigeons, things like that. So he just pumped all those rounds out, threw it on the ground.
And then
that was before he even walked in the door.
And it was crazy because there were, as he got out of the vehicle, broad daylight, there were people walking up and down the street. You could see them. And, you know, you don't really notice because no one had like turned around. You don't see anyone looking at him or running away or anything.
Nope.
It was as casual as could be walking up the drive of that mosque.
Mm-hmm.
And then God knows the horror that was unleashed.
Horrible. Absolutely awful. Makes me sick just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was very chilling to know that as that video was cut off for the world to see, you couldn't see it because it's been sanitized for our consumption. Knowing that even just a few seconds after that is when all hell broke loose.
Mm-hmm.
And
This is a.
Excuse me.
There was a lot of side stories that go along with this. The whole PewDiePie thing. Are you familiar with PewDiePie?
Personally, I don't watch his videos.
Yeah, but you know who he is. One of the most popular YouTubers.
He is the most popular. He's got the most subscribers.
Right. Now,
tens of millions.
Now he just does like silly stuff, right?
Yeah, he's edgy. He says things that if you take them out of context can be deemed as racism. Or,
yeah, I know that he's gotten into some hot water a few times.
Yes.
But he actually said, the bad guy said, subscribe to PewDiePie.
Yep.
How'd you like to be PewDiePie when you hear that this maniac murderer is doing that? He immediately distanced himself from him. No one knows why the guy said it. Guy's not dead. They caught him.
His goal was to divide the United States. It's in his manifesto. I actually
you read the damn thing.
I didn't read all of it. I read sections of it that were posted on Twitter for things like this, because PewDiePie was also trending on Twitter.
What was the motivation here? Is he was he just hates Muslims? Is that what's going on here?
That and to divide the U.S. on their stance on gun control, because that's obviously a very, I wouldn't say controversial, but a prominent discussion that happens.
Well, hell, it already is the case. There's already tons of division in the U.S. with that.
And he widened it. He had people that were berating people for influencing this person to commit this heinous act.
Yeah.
That obviously had no role in it whatsoever.
Right.
People bashing Chelsea Clinton, PewDiePie for being a role model for this person.
Right. What is the name of the lady that everybody loves? Is she a member of Congress? How do you say she's
Ilhan Omar?
No, that's not the one I'm talking about.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
That's it. Was she the one who said something and what was the tweet that she said?
She was tweeting that thoughts and prayers essentially weren't serving these people in New Zealand any good. So I responded with...
I've heard that many times. And by the way, for me personally, I do think that thoughts and prayers do work. And I would never diminish that about the power of prayer. But anyway, that's her belief. That's her belief.
It's funny with her, though, because last week, Ash Wednesday, she was posted walking around with ashes on her forehead. And then
if you're going to say thoughts and prayers don't work, you should not get ashes on your... Why are you even bothering?
She's contradicting herself. She's using it to fit her gun control narrative.
Okay.
And then so I responded with, let's put up more gun-free zone signs because they work really well.
Now, when you posted that was, of course, everybody follows her, sees what you wrote.
Yes.
When you told me that one response that you said, which was snarky, but whatever, I guess that's fair. You got a lot of traction, did you not?
Yeah, I'm at 204 likes and about 9 retweets.
When you told me that, I was like, you bastard, I couldn't get that many retweets on anything. I'm happy when I get like 3 likes.
Yeah, it was. I didn't expect it. I've had a couple like that. I've had Dana Lash who liked some of my tweets.
Who is that?
The NRA spokeswoman.
Okay.
For the NRA.
How did you become so conservative? Because I didn't impress upon you anything. You kind of established that on your own. Can you take me through the conservative mindset that you have? Which, again, right now, I have to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be careful. I don't want to come off as to me jumping in with you, because I try to keep that close to the vest to some degree on occasion. But I'm asking you, at 23 years old, how did you become so conservative?
I've seen... I wouldn't say little government. I think that would probably be the best way going forward. Is that there's so many government programs that have failed and things that don't really work out when it comes to big government.
Yeah.
We see things that cost a ton of taxpayer dollars that you don't really see any progress on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of growing up and learning things that in economics class and government class.
And it made sense to you.
It just made sense.
Okay.
So I definitely do have some liberal leaning ideas that I think would work, but there's also some that just there's no meat to it. It's just an idea that sounds great in like a utopian world that everybody gets behind, like free college for everybody. That's a huge thing with Bernie Sanders.
You hear a lot of people talking about that. Yeah. What's wrong with free education, Jim? Why is that a bad thing?
See, that sounds great, but it's like, where is that money going to come from? People that don't want to go to college or want to go to trade school, how is that going to work out? It's something that just there's so many variables to it where money is just going to be getting pumped into it that could be spent poorly, could not be spent at all.
Now I understand. Now, as we talked about just recently, the governor of Michigan ran on a campaign of Fix the Damn Roads. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
And she won. She beat the Republican challenger, Bill Schuette.
Yes, he did.
And 2 months in, Fix the Damn Roads turned into Fix the Damn Roads, and you all must pay for it.
Exactly.
Is that an example of what you're describing?
That is an example. That's a perfect example. The 45% gas tax.
45 cents, yeah.
That's essentially us just paying for the roads to be fixed. When
anybody could have done that. If we all agreed to that, we could have done that.
Yep.
I mean, anybody could have done that.
Anybody could have ran on that campaign promise. And what's funny is Bill Schuette, I think he said he would go for like a 22-cent tax on gas, and she said that's ridiculous.
No, what he accused her of running up 20 cents.
That's correct.
And then she said that's not true, and he goes, yes, it is. Well, technically, she's not. She is right. It is not true. He didn't mean. He said 20. Now in her head, she might have been thinking I meant 45 cents.
It's even more ludicrous.
Okay. I just ask because I often it's like one day you were young Jim who's just running around with braces on his face, watching Sophie throw out the first pitch.
Also, very privileged to have a special guest with us today, celebrating. Michael Newell, you thought you had a special birthday. You're halfway to where Sophia is. Sophia is celebrating her 100th birthday.
You were right there. You were there, weren't you?
I was on the field, baseline.
Listen to this groan from the crowd.
Your first pitch is whatever you want to. Nice.
Listen.
Oh, somebody fell.
That's the part that gets me. The deafening
Sure,
silence.
right?
You hear this? Oh.
You right, Sophie?
I'm fine. Give me a drink. Give me a drink and a pecker.
Oh man, that was so bad.
To now, you've gone from that to this. Your thoughts on the world.
Well, I couldn't vote when I turned 18. It was in the middle of a presidential term. So this past election was the first one I could actually vote.
Right. Have you lost any friends from your?
No, I've seen people that I grew up with whose views I don't agree with. Yeah. I have been blocked.
Really?
By somebody that I would say acquaintances with, not necessarily friends.
They blocked you. Why don't they just mute you? Why don't they block you for?
Yeah, it was on Facebook because he made a post about abortion I didn't agree with. So
I
just gave him my opinion, and I've been blocked ever since.
So you're very anti-abortion.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, one of the things about the terror attack in New Zealand is, I just don't know why you don't have every religious place, I don't want to say establishment, every place of worship, damn it, put some guards in there. What is the big deal? Just, to me, we need more guns, frankly. That's my view of the world. If they know that there is not a soft target, these things would not have. At least you'd have a fighting chance, for crying out loud.
Or even a place where that wasn't an established gun-free zone, like a school or like a mall or a movie theater, where they know that somebody could have a gun in there. Right. I think that would help a lot.
Yeah, I mean, just the notion. Excuse me, just the notion that there's a good guy there ready to shoot your face off. The story of Rainier, the diving photographer. I don't know if you saw this. The dude was on the Today Show.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. I'm not going to play anything for you, but I am going to tell you about it. Dude was diving. And if you hear anything in the background, it's the heater. We're cold. Guy was diving in South Africa, shooting pictures of the great sardine migration in that part of the world. Like every sardine in the water migrates.
Aren't those small fish? Or
they're only a few inches long, and it's a great opportunity for photographers to get shots. You got drones all over the place, and people are. And Rainer Schimpf was diving off Port Elizabeth do you remember that scene in Finding Nemo when Dory's speaking whale?
Yeah.
And the whale comes up to eat all the krill?
Uh-huh.
This was like that.
Oh, no.
It was a gigantic bride whale. Enormous. And the bride whale goes in to get a mouth of sardines. Problem. Rainier was one of the sardines, apparently. And there were other photographers that were taking pictures of Rainier while he was in the water. And there's a picture going around with Rainier in the mouth of the whale with his legs sticking out and his flippers visible. He's in the whale's mouth.
Did he survive?
Well, Rainier said in an interview that he knew he was going to be okay. He said he felt the pressure immediately because it bit him. It's now chomp on him.
A whale.
An enormous whale, like the biggest whale, or one of. And he said that he instantly knew it was a whale because there was a pressure on my hip, which increased slightly to a point where it stopped. Had it been a shark, it would have been two of me, and I don't think that I would have seen anything again. He then realized, as he was in the mouth of the whale, that he would be much too big for the whale's esophagus. So it tries to swallow him. He's in the mouth of it, and then it goes and spits dude out.
That's insane.
All right. So he then swims away, and he's okay. And like half an hour later, he went back in the water. So he was good to go. He survived. He was not hurt. And he spoke about it. And you know what's remarkable? His son's name, guess. Jonah.
No.
Jonah and the whale. I'm not making it up.
I was going to say whale.
The kid, his name is Jonah. So this is what I did late last night. I sent an email along via Rainier's Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Mr. Shrimp. Would you be Shrimp? This is all just full of great things. I just realized his name's Shrimp.
You call him Shrimp?
Hello, Mr. Shrimp. Would you be willing to let me interview you for a few minutes on my podcast? I host the Eric Zane Show, and I'd love to talk to you about what you do and the incredible shot of you being in the whale's mouth. This would be a phone interview. Thank you for reading this. I got a message back.
No.
And I thought, this is sweet. Thank you for your interest in this wonderful report from Port Elizabeth, South Africa. We have 15-minute interview time slots available from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. South Africa time from the 18th to the 23rd of March, 2019. I go, well, this is great. He's got a great PR firm that's, on top of it. Please reply to this email with a selection of which slots would be good for you, and we will confirm which are still available. I'm like, these guys are top-notch, and they got right back a hold of me. As you well know, Rainier has completed interviews with hundreds of media houses, foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
The images were taken by another photographer, Heinz Tapercher, and are subject to a worldwide license with Barcroft Media. I'm like, all right, shrug. Who cares? Just talk to me about being in the whale's mouth. Next paragraph. In order to accommodate your interview, request we humbly ask for your support of €200 to further some good work that we are doing in association with the Wilderness Foundation by training the youth of our city to become marine tour guides. And I immediately rolled my eyes. If it ended there, I would have been like, okay, great. That's very presumptive. I mean, no, it never works that way.
Yeah.
See more here. There's a link. And then it says €200 fee to bank. Volksbank, Weischnetzel, East Germany. Address. So it gives me account number, routing number, branch code, everything.
Wow.
They're expecting this money. Holy crap.
How much?
I don't know what 200
$200
euros are. I think the euro is worth more than the... let's ask the staff. Euros to dollars. Each euro is $1.13.
Oh, so it's...
That's 200 and what, $30, something like that?
Not bad.
No, it's terrible.
It's terrible.
I wrote, no thanks. I can accommodate an interview for a handful of minutes in exchange for publicity for your organization. That's how it goes. Guests are not paid. Rather, spreading goodwill about the great work you do to thousands of people in exchange for this great story is what I was hoping for. If you are interested in that, I'd love the chance to speak to Rainier. Is this still possible? Haven't heard back. I don't think we will. I don't think we will hear back from him.
That's a bummer, though. They want you to pay him to...
Come on now.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. All right. So Madison, Jim's sister, my daughter, The word got out today that she's going on. She went on a date today. Now I don't know where she is right now. I mean, if the date is
That was
going
today?
on, as I think.
I wasn't really listening into the conversation because I wasn't in it. But
let me check with the warden here. Your mother.
Oh.
Hey, I got a question for you. Is Madison on a date right now?
She's done. Now she's at a birthday party.
Yeah, did this guy touch her or anything?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want him. I'm serious. I do not trust him at all.
No.
Why do you?
No.
Yeah, did you meet the guy?
No.
Well,
He's very nice and polite and respectful.
How do you know he's respectful and polite?
I just said, Maddie said he was.
Uh-huh. Listen, I'm going to keep this one on a short leash. Leash, that is. Leash. Dummy. Jim was laying pipe at like 4. Jackie was a walking stats charge. And this is, we're going to have to really, really keep a tight clamp on this.
Yeah.
I do not support this endeavor. All right.
You have no say.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? He's got the most say.
Yeah, listen, I have the most say.
No, you don't.
All right, I love you. I'll see you.
Love you too, buddy.
Yeah, get out of here. Yeah, so she, I found out she's going on a date. This is how, did you hear how these two met?
At the mall.
Yeah. I mean, like, the dude, he lives out in the hill country.
Where exactly?
I don't want to say.
It's probably best.
It's far away. And he happened to be at the mall, and Madison is there. And dude walks up to her and goes, "Hey, sup?" And they started to talk. Well, then they became like friends on Facebook or something like that, or Instagram. It was Instagram, not Facebook. Nobody does Facebook if you're under like 30.
I don't even have an Instagram.
You don't have an Instagram?
Nope.
Why not?
I don't post pictures. I don't take pictures.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so they met, and so now they went on a date. And I was like, wait a second. All right, give me his name. And I immediately started doing some intel on this guy. Did as much of a background check as I could. Want to see if he's a pedo, if he's into rape or anything like that. I've yet to. I found no evidence of rapey tendencies. But I'm going to keep a close eye on this guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't have a daughter, so I can't really relate. But
oh man, are you going to have any more kids?
No.
Ever?
I don't know. I already
You're
have
still
2.
23.
But I've got 2 kids.
Yeah, I know.
If I plan, but by the time they're out of the house, I'll be like 40. I still got some time left to go do fun things.
Wait a minute. By the time they're out of the house, let's say they leave when they're 18. You'll be what?
Well, Grace is
35.
13, so
you'd be 35 when
37 in 13 years.
Well, Grace, you were 17 when he was born, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or were you 18? You had just
18.
turned 18.
Just turned 18. A month.
Yeah.
May.
Yeah, you'll be 36. I cannot believe you'd be 36 when your
kid is 18 years old.
You have potential to be the world's youngest, like, great grandpa.
I don't think is that actually a thing? A record for that?
I don't know. Let me ask the staff.
There should be a monetary prize.
Youngest great grandfather. Although, according to Wikipedia, the youngest grandmother was 17-year-old Mumzi of Nigeria.
No, that's impossible. How is that even possible?
Rivka eloped when she was 11 in fear of being forced into marriage by her father, gave birth to daughter Maria at 12.
Oh, God.
And 11-year-old Maria has given birth to baby Nicole. Well, that doesn't make sense. That's like 23, right? Yeah, 23-year-old becomes world's youngest grandma.
Man, I'm just shy.
All right. Okay, one more story about your kid sister, the youngest. So, she comes, she's walking up to me, and she's like, "Hey, I don't want to go outside to go get the dogs in." I go, "Why?" "Well, there was a dead possum out there, and the dogs were all sniffing around it, and so you got to go get rid of it underneath that tree in the corner behind where the hose is. You know where that is?
Yep.
She goes, yeah, there's a dead possum under there. And I look at her, and I go, and now I knew this was going to happen. You know where this is going?
I don't.
I go, how do you know it was dead? And she goes,
oh, because it's.
She goes, it wasn't moving. I go, right. That's what they do.
They play dead.
They're not. Yeah, they're not. Okay. These things don't move. They're slow. They're not vicious. They can't defend themselves very well at all. And their only maneuver is to intimidate by throwing open their mouth and hissing and drooling. They foam at the mouth as a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
And then if the last resort is drop dead.
I forgot that they play dead. That's hilarious.
Their eyes roll in the back of their head, and they're gone. And she goes, I go, well, how do you know it's dead? She goes, well, because it wasn't moving. I go, right. They play possum. I go out there. I guarantee you it's not there. Sure enough, she goes back out there, she comes back in. She goes, it's gone. I go, I told you. And they're everywhere around here. Hell, I used to feed the one on the deck. Do you remember when the one with...
I haven't seen a single possum.
You never... Oh, my God, they're everywhere. Hell, one time, O'Neill found one in the pool. It was a baby.
Saved it, or it was dead?
Well, he got my attention that he was there, and he was floating, trying to swim, but he couldn't... He was struggling, so I got his ass out of there.
And you saved him?
Yeah. And he laid down on the deck of the pool, and just kind of... He was tired as hell. And then, but he was so tired he couldn't even play possum. So he just laid there with his eyes open, bummed out because he was soaking wet, but it was warm. And then about 15 minutes later, he said, F this, I'm out of here.
Did you pet him?
No, I didn't want to touch him. No, they can carry disease. It's kind of a mess. So look out for those possum. Jim, I think that's going to do it for us.
All right.
I think we're done. I appreciate your help as always, okay?
It's always fun.
I want to thank everybody for tuning into the Eric Zane Show podcast. Get a t-shirt at ericzaneshow.com. You can custom design it just by reaching out to Larry and Jericho. You'll be good to go. Thank you as always for listening to the freebie. More stuff all the time showing up in your downloads. Just subscribe to the Eric Zane Show free podcast. Check us out on Patreon too via ericzaneshow.com. I will buy that t-shirt for you if you're a tier 2 subscriber. Thank you and good day. Wow, where is the time gone? Another episode of Not the Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast is in the books. Yeah, something to get you through while I'm away. That's the idea behind all of this. I know some of it's shit, but I wanted to make sure you had something to listen to. Have a great weekend, folks. If you're listening to this on Friday, I'm forgetting that this isn't a radio show. What an idiot. You could be listening to this 3 months from now. What a dick. Anyway, never mind. Have a good one, and I will talk to you down the road. Thank you. Bye-bye.